Hello everybody, this is 10, and this is going to be a tutorial on Final Fantasy Mystic Quest any % speedruns. There are two major routes right now, one of them being the, I'm going to call it the original, which is the route that El Magus wrote his guide for. Secondly, there's a route called Venus Shield route, which obviously entails getting the Venus Shield. I will be covering both of those. The differences will be marked in the description, and every major point in the run will also be time-stamped. This is live as we go, so excuse any mistakes and any weird dog noises you may hear. So to start off, I want to go over some of the core mechanics, at least things that I think are important that I didn't know when I started running this game, that will definitely help you when you start to learn how to play. First thing is jump speed versus walk speed. So obviously anywhere in this game you can walk, you can jump. Most of the time, you think it doesn't matter. However, each jump loses you 1 frame. If you care about that, don't jump anywhere that you don't have to. Secondly, for large open areas, as long as you aren't being stupid about your steps, you can take pretty much any path and it's going to be the same exact speed. So you can turn as many times as you want. You can go straight there if you want. Whatever you want to do, as long as the steps are the same number of steps, it's going to be the same speed. When you enter a new location, so see how the screen fades in? That's like a screen transition. And if you're holding up, see how I'm holding up here and I don't move. And that's probably, I would say, at least 50%, if not more, of every transition in this game. There are a couple ways you can kind of do this quickly. So if you go in and start tapping up, like just mashing up, mashing down, matching the direction that you want to go in, that'll work. And if that works for you, that's great. Otherwise, you can try to do a frame perfect. Try to just click at the same exact time the screen loads in. But as you can see, if you mistime it, you kind of you're stuck there. And you go through a lot of transitions in this game, and that could be a bad thing. So what I do, personally, is I mash L and R. Normally, L and R cycles through your weapons. But if you are moving in a direction, you can see L and R don't actually do anything. But what it does is makes the game recognize your input for your directions. So if I go up here, start mashing LR, I immediately start moving as quickly as I can. It's not a bad habit to do through every transition, even though there are a few that don't require that. But overall, you will be losing a lot more time, just trying to do stuff like that and then missing. Let's see. So, as I said before, L and R change weapons. There are different points throughout the game where you're going to want to use different weapons for different battles, because each weapon has their own unique statistic. Let me just kind of go through this battle real quick. So obviously you want to change weapons as fast as possible. So if you can see that enemy there, he was on the screen for a couple frames and then disappeared. That point at which... Oh, let me go find another guy. The point at which that enemy is still on the screen, you can actually change your weapon. You can't walk, but you can change your weapon up to 2 times if you're fast enough. Oops, I was on defend, cool. So throughout the run, you're going to try to utilize that as many times as you can. Whatever. So right here, I'm going to switch to the sword right after this battle. See how I clicked R before I could even move, before the enemy was even off the screen, and it still switched. I will try to point out as many times throughout the run as I can where switching weapons is necessary. Let's see. If you look in your inventory / stats, you can see at the bottom in the pink bar there, I've got white, black, and wizard spells for myself and for my partner. This game kind of works on a number system, not an MP like traditional Final Fantasies. So right now I could cast Cure 3 times, and then after that I'm done. Black spells, same thing, obviously can't use them out of battle. So that's how spells work, you kind of have to keep that in mind. You'll be using spells for most of the battles in this game. Let's see. On the topic of spells, Cure and any white spell, if you use it in battle on an enemy, has a 10% miss rate, and that's a rough 10%. Black spells and wizard spells hit 100% of the time, even if you are blinded. So if you ever get blinded and don't want to heal it to waste a turn, if there's a way you can kill something with a black or wizard spell, that's the way you're going to want to go, because you'll hit no matter what. Same goes with the bombs. In battle, bombs will never miss, even if you're blinded. That's what the bombs are, and it's awesome. So, why is this not working? Oh, that's why. Let me go find another enemy. There are different forms of text in this game. There are text boxes in battles. There are text boxes in conversations, and you cannot clear them the same way. So in a battle, let's just kind of go through here. You can see they clear by themselves slowly. You can also mash AB, and that clears them pretty quickly. However, if you also use the D-pad, actually I'll just do it alone so you can see. It counts as inputs for battle messages, and it clears them faster. So, if you do both, you can clear things. If you're doing it well, you can clear text box in battle almost instantaneously. So throughout battles, during the actual turns, that's what you're going to want to do. You'll kind of learn to be careful about not over mashing to accidentally run away from a battle or something like that. It happens to everybody. You're going to do it. It's going to suck, but you'll get through it. Another thing, I'm going to be using save states, by the way. It makes it way easier. If I want to mash through my selections for battle, I can just mash A, like I did the first time. Or if you go into a battle holding A, it'll automatically input for like as fast as it possibly can. So if you know what battle you're going to come up to, obviously holding A is going to be the fastest way to do that. I will go over certain when you should and when you should not be doing that. As you can see right now, if you look to the right of the name Tristram at the bottom, he's my partner character, and he is on auto. By clicking the Y button, you can switch from auto to manual. And the way auto works in this game is kind of ridiculous. Your partner, if he's on auto, will automatically prioritize every single thing about the main character. So if I'm under half health, they will drop whatever they're doing and they'll heal me. Even if I got hit in the middle of the middle of the turn. If I'm dead, if they have a revive spell, they will immediately revive me. If I have any status ailment, they will immediately try to cure that if they can. So the hardest thing, in my opinion, about this game is keeping track of your health, keeping track of your status, and knowing when to switch your partner off of auto. Because there are so many times where you'll be just mashing through, and your partner will kill you when you could have just attacked and won the battle. Again, I will try to go over that as much as I can when it's appropriate. When you open chests, you can mash, but I often overmash. And I'll either, I'll drop a bomb, or I'll swing my sword, or I'll check the chest again. I personally like to just do 2 taps, try to get as frame perfect as you can for the opening of the text box. You'll get that timing down in practice. Just try not to mash. Like if you're opening a door or something, you'll drop bombs, and that's just slow. You'll get over it eventually. Okay. Just reading through my notes here real quick. We're gonna load up another state here. We will load up something near the end of the game. So you can see, I've got 4 weapons. There are 4 weapons you get in the game. They all kind of get upgrades throughout the game. Through any percent, we don't get an upgrade to the axes. We do get 1 sword. We get 2 bomb upgrades, and 1 claw upgrade. In battle, if you have your sword equipped, you will theoretically get a speed boost. It seems like it never happens, but you still want to be on sword whenever it's appropriate, because there is a chance that you will go first. Axe, as far as I know, doesn't actually give you any benefit. It's got a pretty high crit rate, but it misses a lot too. We only use this in battle once or twice throughout the entire run. The claw in battle will give you a magic damage boost, and this is the most important one. You'll be using this as soon as you get it, pretty much the whole run. And bombs, as I said before, never miss, even if you're blind. So that's what each weapon does. We will go over one more thing about spells real quick. So, not every spell, a lot of spells allow you to target a single enemy. If you click up on the D-pad, you can see now I can target all 3 enemies. The damage is split between the 3. And you and your partner can both do that for whatever spells you have. Obviously, some spells it won't work with. Actually. Okay, yeah, so life you cannot use more than one character. So we'll see here. I do arrow on all 3, do 417 to the skeletons. And if I do it to a single skeleton, well, shit. Let's try that again. So we did 417 when it was split, and we do 1477 as a single. That's kind of like a self-explanatory, pretty obvious thing, but it's good to see it exactly how it's split up. You will be using spells on all enemies if it'll kill, or if you can kill in one turn between you and your partner. I'll obviously go over all that as I can. One last thing for basic mechanics I want to... Actually, there's 2 left. One is how to seed duplicate. There's one nice glitch in this game that we use to duplicate seeds, and you can actually technically use to duplicate any item if you really wanted to. So, you need to go into battle with your partner on manual. If your partner's on auto, you kind of just, you can't do it. So we're on manual, and with the main character, hi Cashew, you're going to queue up an item. So let's say I want to duplicate these seeds. I use a seed, but actually I'm going to back up all the way and just run away. So we had 4 before, now you see we have 5. The game thinks you're using it in battle, but then when you run away, it kind of refunds you what you use. And depending on which route you do, there's a different number of seeds you'll have to duplicate. The last thing I like to go over is cursors. Your battle cursors are kind of... They take a while to get used to, especially if you're not used to memory cursors. If you saw when we ran away, we were on item. Our cursor stays exactly where it was. So if I go back into this battle, and I just hold A thinking that I'm going to be set to go, see how I just used the seed on myself. And if I was doing a real run, I basically just wasted an entire seed duplication battle. So if you need to like talk out loud, be like, all right, I'm on item. My partner's on defend. Like, before you get into a battle, that helps me sometimes remember where I'm at. Or if I'm on a certain spell and I know I need to use a different spell, I'll go into the battle going, all right, I'm on here, Phoebe's on fire. So I know that I can't just mash through. So those are, I would say, the main basics. I know it was a lot. There's a lot of things I learned throughout time that helped me. I would have loved to know at the start. So I hope, going forward, that'll help you a little bit. Again, my name is Ten. If you have any questions or I don't cover anything or you think I don't cover it well enough, feel free to come visit me on twitch.tv/just10. I'll have a link in the description, obviously. Got to shill myself a little bit. So, before we start, we are going to want a file. Oops. How do I restart this? Cashew is saying hello. You can use emulator. You can use console. English version NTSC is the fastest. It has the most glitches that we can utilize. Please visit the speedruns.com forum for this game to find out like what kind of emulators you can use and all that kind of stuff. To start off, we want to load a game. Wow, that is loud. Let me turn that down real quick. We would like to load a file that has Phoebe as our partner character, but the second form of Phoebe. You'll understand later. We get Phoebe twice. The second time we get her, she has all of her spells, and she has all of her resistances. You can see in the bottom right, so like the little cloud, the ZZ, the arrow. So our partner is resistant to a lot of stuff. What we want to do is soft reset the console, or squeak your dog toy. Soft resetting your console, I don't know exactly how it's done, but it's like doesn't clear the RAM of the card or something. And when you start a new game, you'll actually be loading your partner character with those resistances from end game. Obviously, that's pretty nice. If you don't do that, there are so many battles in this game that go the wrong way. So the amount of characters you use, it doesn't matter. Text boxes show up instantaneously, so one character doesn't save you any time over 8. So we're going to start her up, I guess. So Mystic Quest is a game of RNG. If you can't deal with that, you don't even bother with this game. It is frustrating. You'll get pissed off at a lot of different things, and you'll lose runs to things that you cannot control. So to start off, we have text boxes. As I said before, in battle, you can use the D-pad to clear text boxes as well as A and B. But as you see here, the D-pad does nothing to these. Any conversation box or anything outside of battle, you need to mash AB. Y and X do not do anything for text boxes. So you're just going to mash through. Here you have to make sure you're pressing B, because B is the jump button. You take a drink of water here, because you reset 100 times. This first battle is pretty infamous in this game. It is the Behemoth battle. Behemoth has 100 HP. You do 25 per hit, and you do 75 for a critical hit. You have about a 13% chance to critical, 13% chance to miss, and then the remaining 74% is just normal hits for 25. Now, obviously, getting a critical hit and a regular hit for 100 damage is the fastest way to do this. You can still do runs with full health, full turns, so 4 or 5 turns. But just for example, a 2-turn Behemoth fight takes 14 seconds and leaves you with 28 health. Wow, this is actually trash. This is the game right here. Literally nothing I can do, but I missed twice, and I've got 4 health. So that's terrible. I would personally reset this, but if we're going from the standpoint of this being the very first run you ever do, you might as well just take whatever you get, because that resetting for a good fight isn't the most important thing in the world. But as I was saying, 2 turns, 14 seconds, 3 turns, 19, 4 turns is 23, and anything after that just kind of sucks. But the main thing outside of the time save is how much health you have. So I've got 4 health left, which is a 6-turn fight, which I would never take in a million years. And if I had got 2-turn, as I said, I would have 28 health left. We don't heal at all. Ideally, we would not heal. So obviously, more health, the better. We're going to go up through here. The very first place we get set to automatically. We jump over this wizard with B, push the rock 1 space forward, grab the stick, and exit to the right. Now, overworld movement is very fixed. You cannot go anywhere you want unless you follow the path. And you can see the arrows blinking based on which area I can actually access at the moment. So, the easiest way to move is to hold the direction you want to go. If you hold it early enough, you'll automatically go as soon as you can move. As you see, I'm holding left to go left here, holding right. And same goes with A, like holding A to go in. If you hold it, you will enter the city as fast as possible. So, we're going to go in here. I would be LR mashing. We're going to go up left to this house. LR mash. We're going to talk to this lady here. Her name's Kaylee. This will be your first partner. We get her 1 battle into the game. It is wonderful. Obviously, AB mashing throughout the whole chat there. You can see our partner is far more leveled up than we are. She is far more powerful. We'll use her for 3 battles, and then we'll be done. I like to follow this path here, like the L pieces that are missing from the concrete. You can follow whatever path you want, but stay clear of the people in the middle, because they'll just cause you to jump. We'll go to the top right here. We will jump over this little body of water, enter the back of this house, grab the cure spell, push this barrel to the left, jump over the barrel. Hopefully he doesn't walk in front of you. If he does, you just gotta jump. Walking around, waste steps. Out of here, we'll go left, and we are done in the city until we beat the second boss. So we're gonna hold left out of there, hold A to enter this forest as fast as possible. There will be a short cutscene where we mash a couple text boxes. And if this is your very first run, now is a good time to heal yourself. You can use Kaylee's life spell or your cure spell. And then while you're in the menu, you might as well do the rest of your menuing. Go to customize. Most people prefer figure. It changes your health to an actual number that's easier to kind of deal with. There are a couple runners that like this. You do what you want to do. I go here. I go message speed fast, and I personally changed to pink. That's just a stream thing. We're going to leave Kaylee on auto. Hold A through this battle transition to automatically attack. AB mash and D-pad mash. So, the last enemy's attacking. We want to stop mashing. It's really important to get down the timing of when you need to stop mashing, because if I was still going, see, I just ran away. I wasted all that time of getting hit and doing hits, and I lost HP, lost time. Jeez. Alright. Again, axes have a high miss rate. You will miss a lot in this game, and it's going to ruin runs. So, the other quality of your partner on auto is that they will always try to kill as many enemies as possible or kill enemies as fast as possible. In this instance, the enemy on the left has 50 HP left, give or take. The middle has full 100 and the right has full 100, or whatever the number is exactly. If we leave Kaylee on auto, she will automatically attack the enemy that's already low HP. We don't really want that. What we want to do is click the Y button to switch her to manual. We're going to attack the left with Benjamin and attack one of the other two enemies with Kaylee, manually. This ensures that we get a kill as long as she hits, and we clean up the enemy we already hit once. And from here, we can switch back to auto. She misses. It's, like I said, it happens, and it's frustrating. Since there's no other enemies on the screen, we'll just go to auto. We'll stay on auto, and we'll just clean up. Now, we can hold directions out of battle. I'll do that one more time just to... Oops, left her on auto. See, that's what happens. I wasted a turn. Again, knowing when to auto and when to manual is the hardest thing and the thing you're going to have to learn the most of. I'm going to hold up after this battle. I don't need to do any LR mashing. I don't need to do any mashing of the direction. Out of battle, since there's no real screen transition, we can move right away. If you remember at the beginning, when I was going through when an enemy dies, you can switch your weapon. Well, let's go over this first. So we died. Kaylee has a life spell. If we want to, we can leave her on auto and she will revive Benjamin. However, after every battle, if you die, you come back to life with 1 HP, and you get your experience no matter what. So there's no benefit to bring him back to life if it's going to waste time and if we can still get through the fight. We're going to switch to manual and just clean up these two enemies, because Kaylee only gets hit for 1 even on critical hits because of our resistance glitch. So notice how Benjamin comes back to life. We still gained a level even though he was dead. And then after battles, you can switch weapons, as I said, but you can also switch your partner from auto to manual and vice versa during those little dead frames after an enemy is killed. So I'll do that after this. The timing gets it just takes a little bit of time to get used to. You've got a pretty wide margin though. So you just kind of pause and then you can switch before you even move. Use that to, if you know what the next battle is, you can know like if I need to be on auto or manual. All right, so we're gonna switch to manual. We're gonna miss and get really mad and complain. We can hold A to mash through those quickly, since we know we don't have to switch anything. Do it again. All right, we're staying on manual because the next fight is our first boss, the Minotaur. We're going to A-B mash through these text boxes. And we're going to use a little, it's not even a trick, it's just a mechanic where we use the life spell on the Minotaur. So I like to hold A, I have like an audio, you hear the 3 dings, and then you stop, go over to spell. Your menu's wrap, so just click left once, and then use life on the Minotaur. 240, and you'll split right when the screen loads in, basically. And that was your first boss, hooray! We'll A-B mash through these. Kaylee gives us the axe because she's gonna die. Remember, holding up through here, or holding the direction through the overworld, moves you as quickly as possible. And then we're gonna hold A, because we need to enter here. Whatever this place is called. The cave. This is where we're already going to get our second partner. We go up here, and search the empty chest. And here comes every speedrunner's favorite character, Tristram. And by favorite, I mean everybody hates him. Tristram will cause you to lose more runs than any mistake you've ever made. As you saw there, I could actually change my partner from auto to manual and back during like little cutscene things. So when the fanfare is playing, you want to make sure you switch Tristram to auto. This is our first real dungeon of the game, Bone Dungeon. You may be a little concerned that we're on 1 HP. Don't worry about it too much. Theoretically, we're faster than everything in here, and theoretically, we kill everything. So, I did not save state. It's all right. Ta-da, na 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 na. Okay, so quicksand is pretty much only in this dungeon and in the very last dungeon of the game. There is a certain quality to it where if you walk on it, it forces you to go a direction that it is flowing, and if you try to walk back, you cannot unless you jump, which is, yeah, whatever. During the section in which you walk on the quicksand towards the direction it's flowing, you want to hold the direction, and it will make you walk twice as fast. So if I don't hold, I go slow. If I hold it, I go fast. So we're going to go over the quicksand and hold B. It will allow us to jump as soon as we get to that tile. We'll go in here, LR mash. We'll jump over these turtle shells. Go down these steps to the right. Again, whatever path you choose through here, as long as you're not being stupid about your steps, will be the same. We'll go up here to this obviously bombable door. We want to A-B mash the first 2 text boxes, and then through here we want to mash A because he offers us some bomb to purchase some bombs, and if we click B, then it'll say no, we don't want them, and waste a little bit extra time. So we're gonna switch Tristram to auto and go to axe ourselves. This is one of the fights we'll use axe. You want to come up here, skip all of these monsters down here. You don't, obviously, it's a speedrun. We're going to fight as few enemies as possible. Either this worm or the worm to the left. It does not matter. We'll hold A, and then D-pad and A-B mash through the battle. Ideally, you get something like that where nobody misses. So through the fade out of that battle, you want to switch to bombs. Bone Dungeon has a very special property to it. For some reason, the enemies fade away faster than in any other dungeon. Oops. So if you see here, look how fast the skeleton pops away. You'll see later that that does not happen that way. So you can immediately change. Like, you finish the fight, and as soon as the screen fades, you can switch your weapon. Just in this dungeon, though. So we'll go left after that skeleton, go down the steps, go up just to the right and fight this skeleton. Now, every single fight in this dungeon can be different, no matter how many times. So I'm going to actually go back to here, because I should probably explain it further. So if I go here, see how there are 3 enemies. If I go in again, there's 2. There's 1. So as far as we understand, there is a 1/3 chance for each of these things to happen. And if there are formations that only have 2 different options, then there's a 50-50. And that's not really 100% certain, but it's pretty much accepted as what it is. If we have any 3 enemy formation in here besides the worms, so besides this very first fight, you want to run away. So if this worm was 3 and we had our axe, we could just auto axe through here, it'd be fine. But any 3 after that you want to run away from. It is faster to run and get a better formation than to try to kill a 3. So we'll go through here. From the rest of this dungeon, we're going to stay on bomb. Again, we'll go down this way. Sorry I had to redo that. I'll try not to do that again. We want to be level 4 for the boss of this dungeon. It is very hard to be under-leveled, but it is possible. I think it's happened to me 3 or 4 times on stream, which makes it almost impossible to beat. You want at least like 3 formations of 2 enemies, and then you'll be safe. We can walk through this right here. Don't like waste your extra 2 steps going that way. We want to avoid the quicksand as it's flowing left. We'll come up here, fight this monster. And this one is a personal preference kind of thing. It can either be a solo Gorgon, it can be the Gorgon and Worm as we have now, or it can be Gorgon and Skeleton. For this, when there's a Gorgon and another enemy, I will manual Tristram, and I'll attack the Gorgon. Tristram is, I'd say 99.5% of the time, faster than every enemy in here. Gorgon can mess you up. I have had runs messed up or ruined from this fight. So if I have him attack the Gorgon, he'll kill him as long as he hits, and then we'll kill the Worm, and we'll be fine. If you have Tristram auto, I think he attacks the Worm or the Skeleton first, and then the Behemoth or Gorgon can have a turn to confuse you, or I forget what he does exactly. It's not good, though. But once you get quicker, it's pretty easy to just manual and attack him yourself. We'll go up, use the bomb on this little cracked piece of rib cage. And this fight is special. Let me run away so I can get a save state. There are 3 formations that this fight can be, as almost every other fight in here. It can be a solo Minotaur. It can be the double that we saw. Or it can be a 3. Hi, Cashew. Well, the 3s are bad. We'd run away from the 3 no matter what. If you get a 2, just like the last Gorgon fight, we're going to switch Tristram to manual. We're going to attack with our bombs. And Tristram's going to attack the Minotaur. Tristram's shurikens have a unique property where they try to inflict every single status ailment on an enemy. So, if we just have Tristram attack, he will kill the purple thing by himself, and then the Minotaur can outspeed Benjamin, thus confusing us, and I think that's it. I think he can just confuse us, but that can ruin this fight. If we attack with Tristram, he will most likely not kill this guy, and then he'll paralyze him. So now he will not attack, and we get a second attack. And it also takes both of those sprites down at once. So when a sprite is killed, it'll fade away. And if you have to kill 2 different sprites at 2 different times, it does waste a little bit of time. So that's the 2 fight. A single fight has so many different things we can do. So, most people, including the Elmagus guide, advises you to bomb, defend. And you kill him in 1 hit with bombs. Easy peasy. That is the absolute safest way you can do it. The way that I like to do it is just hold A, have Tristram on auto, and have him attack. If Tristram hits, he's going to paralyze him, so you aren't ever going to get confused. And also, Tristram has a high critical hit rate. Well, there's our 3. So, if Tristram gets a crit, he kills this thing by himself. The only thing that's bad about this strategy is if you miss, the Minotaur can still outspeed you and can still confuse you, but you'll still kill it with a bomb if you get your turn off. The time differences are, for a regular attack, a regular bomb and defend is like, I can't remember, it's like 12 seconds. If you go through and you critical hit with Tristram, it is 8 seconds. There's a third strategy, which allows you to, if you switch to Axe and have Tristram hit it normally, of course he's going to crit. Let's see how that was quick. Obviously, that's ideal. Let's try to get another one where he doesn't crit. So we switch to Axe. This is the riskiest strategy, but also the fastest outside of critting, and that's why it's risky. So the Axe is the fastest animation speed, especially compared to bombs. Bombs takes like 2 seconds to actually use, start to finish. So if you attack with Tristram, attack with Axe, if you get both hits, normal hits, it's going to take you 9 seconds. Attack and bomb is 10 seconds. A critical hit's 8. You kind of do what you feel comfortable with. I will always do auto attack and bomb, personally. Anyways, that was a lot of time in one fight. After we beat that Minotaur, we'll come down, watch out for this quicksand, but walk right next to it, go straight down to this. Come up here, fight the skeleton. Hopefully it's a 3, because I always get 3s here. Just kidding, we're going to run. And we'll hold A. Come up here to this closed mouth, use a bomb on it. It will open up, allowing us to walk through. Ignore the left side here and go all the way up to this entrance. This is where we're going to get our seeds. Very important that we do not pick up any item before this. Seeds needs to be the first item in the inventory, which I will explain later. We'll come down, LR mash out of there, fight this first skeleton, watching out for the quicksand. Now that we have seeds, we can officially duplicate seeds when necessary. Depending on which route you do, we're going to duplicate different amount of seeds. If you do the Venus Shield route, and you do it kind of like the old route, you need 2 seeds duplicated throughout the run. If you do the normal shieldless route, you're going to duplicate 3 seeds. And that is like ideal strategies, not doing more than necessary to get more spells. I personally can get through with 1 seed the way that I do this, which I'll go through, obviously. So we're going to come down and fight this Minotaur formation. If you come to any formation, and it's a 3, we're going to duplicate a seed. Depending on what route you do, you don't want to duplicate more seeds than necessary, because then you're just wasting time, because it does take time to duplicate a seed. We're going to beat that Minotaur, come down to the edge right here next to the quicksand, and we're actually going to jump and hold left. That'll allow us to skip that last skeleton fight. If you don't hold left, you're just going to get sent back to the beginning. Come up here, bomb this mouth. If you are running for the very first time and you really want some extra spells to use, come up here, grab Quake. I will not be doing that for this run. If you do not need that Quake, come up here, just go right. We'll fight this Minotaur. Would like to get a 3. Since I didn't really mention it earlier, I will be doing this tutorial visually using the Venus Shield route, but I will be explaining the original route as I go. Alright, well, I guess we don't technically need a 3. But if we get a 3, this would be our first 3 since we got seeds. So as I showed you before, we'll come in, we'll queue up the seed, and we'll run away. And for my route, that is the only seed that I need to duplicate for the entire game. So now we can go back in, hopefully get a good formation, and we'll just kill this. Oh, see, okay. This is exactly why you need to know where your cursor is. I've completely just had a brain fart there, and I used my seed. So now I need to dupe another seed regardless. You need to know where you're at all times for reasons like that. So not only did I waste a seed, but I wasted the duplication of that seed. Anyways, we're going to come up here. This is the room with the boss in it. Come up, left 1. I like to pause on the shell. Anytime after that last Minotaur fight is a good time. If you hadn't healed at the beginning, this would be your first menu of the game. Normally, let me just do this again. So, using the Almagus route, the original route, you'd pause, you would cure yourself, cure Tristram if you need to, back out, use a seed on yourself. Using a seed on Tristram is just a waste. That'll make sure you have all 6 white spells. Come up to customize, do your blah, blah, blah. Do your menuing. And then back out. And we will jump over. And this is our Flameless Rex fight. Actually, I want to do... If you're doing the Venus Shield route, it's going to be the exact same. If you're doing my route, you're actually going to come up here, use Life with Tristram instead of using Cure. Then you do this menu. That ensures that I don't need to use a seed here. It just makes this fight a little different. Now, Flamer's Rex is kind of a bitch. He has 2,200 HP. He has 4 different moves. There's one called Rip Earth, which he uses to quake both party members. It hurts a lot. He has just a straight up attack. He can throw a bone. There's a few different things he can do, and what you want ideally is for him to pick on Tristram. Normal route, you're gonna come through here, spell Cure on Flamerous. Leave Tristram on auto, and you're just crossing your fingers for some critical hits from him. So I'll kind of, hey, look at that. There's one. Tristram needs to do 700 damage, and you need to have 6 cures. If you hit all 6 cures, and he does 700, then you win. So he can poison you. Tristram got 2 crits, holy cow. Good luck. There's one weird thing about life. If we use life inside of battle, it also will take care of all your status ailments. So at this point, I would probably life Benjamin. It not only heals him to full, but it will get rid of that poison. Here's Rip Earth. And the benefit of using life is I die, but still I come back to health, full health. Come back to life with full health and get my cure off. So, again, we're constantly checking our health to see where we're at. We're safe right now, so I'm going to go back to auto and keep using cure. We get hit for 129, that's fine. There's 2 different ways you can play this. I missed, that really sucks. You can continue to try and hope that he attacks Tristram, or you can cure Benjamin. It's up to you on how risky you want to play this. This is why people would argue to always cure Benjamin. Because we just wasted not only that one turn, but this turn here healing, and Tristram took an entire full power attack to himself. Here, it's the smart thing to do would be to heal Tristram. If I was doing a run, I would risk getting a critical hit with Tristram and just let him attack. But for the sake of this, we'll do that. Keep using cure. This is his last little sprite, so he should be dead right here or the next attack. Okay, now I know he's gonna die, so I'm actually gonna take myself off of auto and attack. I look like a fool right now. There we go. This'll kill him. All right. You'll get a feel for it. Obviously, I'm not doing this in the middle of a run. It's kind of weird for me. So once you just do a few runs, you'll get a better hang of your strategy that you want to use for this fight. I will run this through the way I would do it personally. I would only have 3 white spells if I were to do this my route. So I would still start off with Tristram Auto and curing Flamers. Just hope that all 3 hit. Flamers is a run killer. The only good thing is that it's in the first 12 minutes of the game. That's a nice critical. That's what we want right there. Tristan can take so many of those. All right, we missed. That's great. This is perfect. If Flamers goes before Tristram, then he will automatically heal us. Like I said, even if it's the middle of a turn, his auto will automatically prioritize us over anything. So I would be out of cures here. So I would start using bombs, which not only are they comparable in damage, but they will never miss. So then I would just bomb the rest of this. I did not see Tristram's health. We definitely need to heal Tristram. Again, using Tristram's life to heal so that you would save all of your white spells on Benjamin. Rip Earth, again, he'll kill Benjamin, but we can easily have him auto to health. And we'll just keep holding A because our health is looking decent. Tristram's going to miss and ruin our run. All right, I'm going to risk it. This is, like I said, if I was doing this, I'd risk it, and it would have been a good risk. We split there right as the string comes back in. Tristram's going to come over and open this treasure chest after we get the crystal. Congratulations, you just beat your first real boss. This one it's not fun. Grinding out bone dungeons, once you get to a respectable time and you want a really good run, Ideally, 9 minutes, 30 seconds is like the high end of what I accept for flamer splits if I want to do a serious run. But if it's your first run, obviously you're going to just take what you get, kind of play through the game a few times, and then start optimizing yourself. I like to grab, so we ended up right here after that cutscene. I like to grab this chest. It contains bombs. You will be picking up a few bomb chests throughout the run. It doesn't matter which ones you do, but it's kind of a preference. I like getting this one early and skipping a couple later ones. Make sure you come over here and grab this sand coin. Nobody in the history of ever has ever forgotten it, but you don't want to be the first. We'll come back over. We'll have a short cutscene. We'll kind of do a shrug, going what the hell, man, and we'll leave. This is kind of just backtracking. However, we are going to be using that quicksand movement. What I would do is, if you're using an emulator practice, do a save state right here and practice that movement. It is tough. If you just hold right, see how slow you go right there? And if you don't hold anything, obviously it's going to go very slow. So, try to get down that movement. All you have to do is right, up, right. It's pretty quick, though. You can walk sideways through here if you'd like. Again, this one is the difficult quicksand. Save state here if you're using an emulator. Go up, left, up, left, up, left, up, to left. Like that. That one's difficult. It will take you a lot of time to get the feel for that movement. Come back the way we came, down through this door, up these stairs. LR mash. Back this way. These enemies are still here, so obviously you're going to take the same path you came in with. On that note, you will not fight enemies unless you are on this tile and like walk into them, or if you're facing them and then you click A or B. So if I click A, I fight them. So just don't be afraid of walking next to them. LR mash. Come down these steps. Go this way. We're going to go back up the stairs to the right here. Again, that's the same speed as just going all the way up and then turning. When you get here, you have to make sure. Go up here, bomb this little pile of bones, and get this shield. Again, I like to frame perfect, or try to frame perfect, clear that box instead of mashing, so I don't get that empty box again. What that shield does is increases our speed and defense. Speed being the really important thing there. We're going to LR mash. We are not getting this chest. If you are doing the normal route, the normal El Magus route, you're going to pick this up. That would be in your second slot of your inventory. If you're doing Venus Shield route, you are not getting this. So jump over, move left, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to do one down, and then you're going to jump and hold left, just like we did to skip that skeleton fight. Jump, hold left. It's going to get us to that regular sand. Jump, hold left. Face the quicksand, jump, hold left. And then we're out of the dungeon. So that was easy. We're going to hold down. We're going back to the original city over here. What the whole point of that was, story-wise, if you care, is we got an elixir to heal whatever poison Kaylee got from fighting that Minotaur. Jump over the mom here. Going around just waste you a few steps. Go over here. Talk to Kaylee. This focus tower text box is your last one, so stop mashing there. We'll jump back over her mother, and nice. LR mash, and leave right away. We are on our way to the focus tower for the first time. Come up here at this cave, we're going to go right. Right once more, and then hold A to enter as fast as possible. LR mash. Take this little quote-unquote secret path to the left. Don't ever talk to this guy when you don't have to. Who cares about him? I don't even know what he is. We'll come up here. This is another bomb chest we'll grab. When you come up to this door, we'll unlock it. This is one of the instances where I said I do not mash. If you do mash, all you're going to do is drop a bomb. So I do just 2 taps, try to open as fast as possible. We'll come up here, go up through this staircase. Now, if you really want to get the fire spell, for some reason, it is down here to the left, and then you just grab the chest. There's no real reason, no benefit in this run to grab fire. Even if you're doing the original route. I know the El Magus route says to grab it if you are just beginning, but the damage output is not much higher than bombs for the one fight you would use it on. So we go out that top of the focus tower. We're coming up to this cave here, where we get our third party member after grabbing these bombs. A-B mash throughout this whole cutscene. We get our actual favorite partner, Phoebe. Once you walk down on her, you're done. If you need to switch auto manual, you can do that now. Now we're going to hold right and go to the next city. LR mash. Make sure you don't go up too far because we just need one tile, and then left up to her house. If this guy gets in your way, just jump over him. We'll mash through this. As soon as she comes back to you, stop mashing. LR mash out of here, and we will be leaving. Out of here, we're going to hold right and then hold up, bringing us to our second real dungeon, the Wintry Cave. Here is where things start getting tricky. Now, every fight can have different formations, different enemies, and depending on what you do with your partner will greatly affect how fast you can do all of these. I will try to cover as many formations as I can. If I miss something and you need to know how to kill it just because I forgot about it, please come to chat and let me know. Or if you really want to contact me on Discord, you can do that through finding the Discord on the channel as well. Throughout most of this dungeon, we're going to keep Phoebe on auto. As long as the 3 enemies on screen are the same enemy, she will try to kill them all with a single spell. In this instance right here, which is perfect, you can see we've got 2 scorpions and a toad. If I use auto, she will kill the weakest thing by itself. Obviously, that's not what we want. Ideally, you want something with 2 scorpions, 3 scorpions, it doesn't matter. She will auto-fire and kill all of them. The only benefit to a frog formation here is if you need to dupe a seed or 2 still, that is a good opportunity to do so. We'll come up here, keep her on auto because most likely this is going to be a good formation. We'll hold A. Now, it's not complicated, but you can lose track easily. I have this thing on my phone. I'm on Android. On the Play Store, you can download a thing called Tally Counter. And what I did was set up 2 little tallies for my thunders and my seeds. I don't use the seed one anymore because I only need 1. But I know I start off with 5 thunder spells, which is the wizard. I start off with 5, and I start out the game with 3 seeds. As I use a thunder, I will just take 1 tally away from thunder. That way I'm not going into a battle thinking I can kill something, but finding out that I don't have my spells. It's really important to keep track of. You can do it without a tally, once you get used to this game. But we want to manual out of that last fight because we're going to use thunder on this one. If we use auto, it will not kill these, which is really odd. There are a few formations like that. So we're going to queue up our bomb, go to spell, and for Phoebe, it's up A, and that's thunder all. Going down from the original white spells would be her, what are they called? Black spells. All right, after that, when that fight fades, I'm going to auto, because the next fight's going to be a firefight. We'll have a short A-B cutscene here. You get that, and then stop mashing. Now we have the claw. The claw allows us to climb up these little textured walls you see here, and also gives us a magic boost. If you're going to come straight left here, make sure you hold A, because there's actually a wall that'll stop you. We'll come down to this fight, and we will keep Benjamin off of bomb because we're going to be climbing more walls, and theoretically, Phoebe can just kill everything at once. So we'll still queue up an attack. We're on thunder now, remember, so don't just hold A because you'll use thunder, and thunders are important. We'll go up to our fire and fire all. And even though these are mixed, we will kill them as long as we do this manually. I'll put her back on... You try to put her back on, on auto after that fight. Alright, so we got a bad fight here. Let's actually dupe a seed. We'll go back in. And now we'll switch her back to auto. Make sure we switch ourselves back to attack so I don't get screwed by that again. There we go. So it didn't take long to do that. If we need a seed, that's not a bad spot to do it. Again, we'll hold A, auto on here. Nice and easy. That's one of the many RNG things in this game is just your formations can save or lose you so much time. After that fight, we want to make sure we are on bombs and Phoebe is on auto. We'll come up and bomb this door. LR mash, fight the turtle, and this formation and the next one will always be 2 turtles. And you can always kill them with an auto thunder. Make sure you take away a thunder for each of these fights if you're using a tally. Right now we have 2 left after this fight. The whole premise of seed duplication is based around the amount of thunders you need to use. For the early game, thunder is your strongest spell, and you only have 5, so that's why we're duping seeds essentially. So keeping track of thunders is important. We want to go on manual coming into this formation. It's going to be another thunder, but as we know, we're on fire because the last time we used manual, we're on fire. So we're going to come down, make sure we do thunder all, take 1 off of our tally. And this fight sucks. These guys with the centaurs, they can confuse both of you. Sometimes you'll go before all 3 of them. Sometimes you'll get confused and still hit through. It sucks. I'll actually, once we get to the next centaur fight, I'll kind of reset a little bit to show you how badly it can go. Again, this fight is always 2 turtles, so we're going to auto thunder. And now that puts us at 0 if you keep track. So we want to hold start. If we're hurt, we'll come down. You can use Cure with Benjamin. You can use Cure with Phoebe, whatever you prefer. Near the end of the game, our first slot is actually going to have basically an escape rope. So if you accidentally mess up and you escape, it's going to ruin your run. So I personally do it this way, even though it's technically slower. So I'll Cure. And if you click down, you can see how both names are highlighted. We can actually Cure both at the same time. It's weaker, but if they aren't hurt that much, it's faster to go down A than it is to do each character. So once we're healed, we'll go up, use the seed, make sure you use it on Phoebe. If we're going through with Cure, and I Cure Benjamin and I Cure Phoebe separately, the last time the cursor's on is on Phoebe. So if we come up to items, it's going to be on Phoebe again. If you do a Cure on both characters at once, your cursor's going to be on Benjamin. So just be careful. Again, using a seed on the wrong character wastes a lot of time. So we'll go back. She's full on magic. We're up to another centaur fight. Let's see how badly this can go. Make sure you reset your counter to 5 also for thunders. Excuse me. All right, so we get confused. But we went first. That's great. As long as Benjamin doesn't get confused, we win that fight. We'll see if we can... Oh, we got to strike first. That's really good. That means we're guaranteed to go before everybody. So... just even though there's different formations, like there's so many different things that can happen in each of those formations, and speed is merely a suggestion in this game. We got the shield to increase our speed. However, like sometimes you're faster than centaur, sometimes you're not. Even on the same run, it doesn't make a ton of sense, and you kind of just got to roll with the punches, and if it happens, just kind of recover. We'll go through some recovery stuff once we get some really bad fights later on. After that, we're going to want to be on auto, because this is most likely going to be a formation. Proving wrong. Make sure you switch to manual and fire all. Again, if it's not 3 of the same character or 3 of the same enemy, using auto will only have Phoebe target 1. Make sure, remember on fire, we'll switch to thunder on these. We're down to 3 thunders left. I actually am going to ruin this. Gotta learn to save more. Hey, we went first anyways. Awesome. Okay, switch to auto. I missed. If you miss your little transition auto, don't pause to switch. You can always switch first click in your actual fight. In this instance, it was good that we're on still manual. All right, I'll actually save this time. Again, manual going into this fight. This right here is the formation I want to show you. It's 2 and 1, I would say, and it's a good formation to dupe exceed if you need to. There's a pretty high chance that you'll use thunder here, but that little spiky guy, the hedgehog, will attack before Benjamin, which obviously isn't a big deal. It doesn't do that much damage, but it is slow. So if you do need to dupe exceed, that's a good opportunity. Oops. All right, we'll just go through this now. Again, we are at 3 thunders left. We'll try to auto after this because the next one should be a fire, automatic fire kill. Just hold A. We'll come down here, LR mash. This is a kind of a toss-up. If you're on auto or manual, it doesn't matter. It can be an auto. It can be this fight, which is not an auto. It'll either be 3 turtles or 2 in 1. It is faster to switch to auto and mash through than to switch to manual, so it is kind of smarter to be manual going in just so you can hold A if you need to. But it's kind of up to you. It's not that much faster. We're down to 2 thunders. We'll come in here in manual, and we'll hold A to thunder these. This can either be 3 birds or 2 in 1. And then, as far as speed goes, like I was telling you, sometimes you're faster than every bird, sometimes you're slower than every bird. Doesn't make any sense. But we'll kill those. Again, keeping an eye on our health. There's a very slim chance we go under half, but if those birds attack Benjamin, we might have to heal. Or make sure we don't use auto, because then Phoebe will heal us. Here's a good formation. We just auto these turtles. And if you're keeping track on a tally, this is where we ran out again of thunders. So now is our last venue before the boss. You come down. I'm going to heal. Use a seed on Phoebe. Try to make sure you're not on auto for this fight. The last fight that can really screw you over here. If you get... That's perfect. Like, that's as good as the fight goes. As long as they don't confuse both of you, it should be a fine. And we are down to our third boss now. Holy cow. Cruising. This is Squidite. Giant squid and 2 birds. So for our first turn, we want to bomb and actually thunder all. So just like we've been doing the whole dungeon for the most part. Thunder doesn't do hardly any damage to us. Electric moves. All we hope is that we get our bomb off. Again, we can either go before the birds to kill them and it saves a lot of time, or we go after like that. So from here on out, Benjamin is just a body. He's just extra damage. We're not counting on him for this fight. We're going to just keep him on attack, and we're going to switch Phoebe to attack. None of her spells do much damage alone, and her arrows have a high crit rate. So normally she does like 318 damage. Critical hits do 636. So what we want is that... Oh, 686. Holy cow. That's what we want. We want some critical hits. Do not heal Benjamin. You should never have to heal Phoebe unless she gets critical hit. Again, keeping track of when the enemy attacks so you know when to stop mashing. She also has a pretty high miss rate, so that kind of sucks. Now we're blind. See, this is pretty much worst case scenario. She's blinded. We can take the time to heal. If we set her to auto, thinking that she'll heal herself, she'll actually heal Benjamin first. As I said, she will always prioritize Benjamin. So if you do want to heal this, go through manually with her and use the heal spell. At this point, the squid's almost dead. Its top is drooping over. This is the last sprite, so I'm actually going to try to hit through the blind. It's kind of rough, but it can happen. And if we get lucky, Benjamin kills it. But we hit that, and it should die, and we split right there. That fight can go poorly. It can. I have lost runs to it. It just happens. Follow that strategy. Phoebe can kill it by itself as long as she's not getting just destroyed. She's resistant to the sap spell or whatever the enemies use, so if he uses that on Phoebe, she actually gains health and he loses. If he uses that a few times, you'll be safe. So from here, I like to heal up. Again, see how that spell is split and Benjamin actually did not get fully healed? It's fine. As long as he's over half, it's fine. And then I'll also heal. We're not going to use a seed because we still have 3 left. All right, let's grab this Libra Crest. It will allow us to teleport later. And we will exit the dungeon. Once we get up to this next floor, I like to make sure Benjamin is on Claw and Phoebe's on Auto. Just to set up, because I know what's coming next. As much as you can, you want to be ready for the next fight or the next part of the game. So we're about to climb down some walls, so obviously we need the Claw. And the next fights we're going to do are going to require her to be on auto for quick kills. So for the Claw, again, we can't walk down unless we have A, hold A. And if you release A, you fall down quickly. So we come over here, release, and fall down. Walk all the way right. So you hit this wall. Walk up. Do not go up that one, go up the next one. Again, holding A, we obviously don't want to fall down here. Put this away. And kind of just exit the dungeon. Exiting dungeons is slow and painful and boring. And it's just something you gotta do if you want to run this game. Alright, we're gonna hold down to move quickly, then left and down. And left again. We're going to the original cave where we picked Phoebe up in the first place. Hold A to get in quickly. LR mash up to this, see this Libra crest teleporter thing? Now that we've got that crest, we go through here. Notice how I don't click anything here. There's actually a cutscene, but it doesn't activate until you have an input. So if I click left, that's when we start. So make sure you're LR mashing or trying to move through here. So we're gonna A-B mash until she goes back into our party. That's when you know that cutscene's over. Coming up to here, this cutscene activates when you move one more tile up to here. So when you touch them, you don't need to click A-B. So if you're walking up, just start mashing right there, because that's when the cutscene starts. You get that, and then you leave. And then LR mash out of the teleporter. And there we go. Hold right, we're going back to the city. Again, hold A. Another cutscene, LR mash to activate. Well, try to, move to activate it. We got that text box there. Wait until she does the little exclamation thing, and then we're gonna mash some more. When she comes back in, we're done with that cutscene, and we will leave. Now, we're going to the pillar puzzle. Go up here to Falls Basin. LR mash to do another mini cutscene, and switch to bombs. I do not like having bombs out when I don't need to, especially when I'm doing mashing. Just for the same reason as opening the doors, if I'm having a conversation and bombs are out, I almost 90% of the time will throw a bomb out afterwards. So I don't switch to bomb until this point. So we're gonna push this pillar straight up. We wanna stop when it's at this level here. And push it left until it hits the wall. Go down and push it up once more. Go around, up through here. And again, we set ourselves up earlier, so Phoebe's already on auto. All we have to do is hold A, and we'll get through there quickly. These formations can be 2 or 3 of these hags. She will kill either one of them. Or actually, no, 3 might require you to bomb as well, but you'll already be doing that. Again, just holding A. If you're keeping track of your thunders, we have 3 left, which is the perfect amount. Here is your last opportunity to duplicate seeds, at least a reasonable opportunity. This formation can be either this one here, 2 and 1, or it can be just 2 of the Lamias. The Lamias die to thunder. If you auto on a, we'll find one, so it makes more sense. Maybe. Again, this is a theoretical 50-50 chance to get either formation, but we don't know for sure because sometimes it does not seem like it. What is going on? All right. So if we just auto this, she thunders, and it's fine. Just to show you that. We're going to push this pillar to the right. Stop right in the middle of this gap here. Go under and push it up once. If you push it up too far, you can still make it work. Obviously, 1 is faster. Head back to the left and up these stairs. And we're going to hop across this little gap we just made with the pillar. Come down to this formation yet again. If it's a 2, again, we just auto and make it easy. However, if it's this formation, and you still need to duplicate a seed, now is a very, very good time, because you run away from that bad formation and hopefully get a 2 formation, like this. Perfect. Because now we can just auto, and it's nice and quick. All right, again, if you're keeping track, we now have 1 thunder, and I like to heal up at this point. We cross our fingers that we hit level 8, because if we're not level 8, this fight is going to suck. So we heal up, use the seed on Phoebe so she's max. I know she still had 1 left, but it's much more beneficial for us to be full of spells going into this fight than to try to make it work using what we had. So we push this second pillar straight up here until the corner of the pillar touches the corner of this little cliff. We come back down here, push this one straight up. When we are even with this pillar, 1 tile right. Oops. 1 more up on this pillar, and then push it straight there. And then we come up to this pillar again. You can walk behind it one tile like that. We're going to push it right, down, and right. Some number, 9 maybe, until it matches right there. So that's what your pillars want to look like at the end. You do not want to push this pillar. Oh, I guess you can't. Good to know. Okay, that's where you want it. I'm going to come back down to the right side here. And jump over these, and jump over these. Now there's a potential skip here for skipping this spell if you were crazy, but it's far more beneficial for you to waste the 7 steps to get this than it is to skip it. So, that was the heal spell. So now we can cure our own or our partner's status ailments. This is Snow Crab. We used a seed, so we're going in with 5 thunders. What we have to make sure, though, remember, is we duped a seed, so we're on item. If I just go through, we're going to kind of screw ourselves over. So we're going to bomb attack, and we're going to fire all. That will take care of the hags. If we were level 7 for that, we automatically died in 1 hit from that attack. That is why it's very important for us to be level 8. You can still technically do this at 7, but you got to get really lucky. So, we're now at the point where the crab is alone. From here, the numbers... Oh, he has 3,000 HP in the first place. We did a very small amount of damage to him with the fire and the bombs. From this point, we need to do a total of 5 thunders and 2 axes, 4 thunders and 4 axes, 3 thunders, 6 axes, etc., etc. The more axes we get, the better, but if it looks like Benjamin's not going to be much use, like he keeps getting hit, you can let him die and focus on thunders as long as you get your 2 axes in. So, from this point, I'm going to put Phoebe on auto to heal Benjamin, because I don't have any axes in. We switch to axe and attack. She'll heal him. We hope that the crab attacks Phoebe, and does not do that. That's the absolute worst. Make sure to switch her off of auto, because now everybody's healed. And we're going to go down to Thunder. And we're actually going to try to do this a Thunder all. Remember how we click up to target all enemies? If we do that, it sets us up for later. It doesn't split damage because it's a solo enemy. So now we're at 0 axes, 1 thunder. I like to count this out loud. A critical hit counts as 2 axes. That's amazing. We're still in really good health, so we're going to keep attacking with him, hopefully to get 4. So we're at 2 axes, 2 thunders. 3 axes, 2 thunders. And at this point, we've got our 2 axes. We can kill him if worse comes to worse with just Phoebe. So I'm not going to heal. We're just going to thunder. That's 3 thunders, 3 axes. If we get lucky like that, and he gets a 4th axe out, that's amazing. Now we only need to do a total of 4 thunders. So if you are keeping track out loud or in your head or on paper or whatever you have to do, you know exactly when you're going to kill him. So I know for a fact this thunder is going to kill him. And there we go. That is the snow crab. We're going to just walk right to activate this little cutscene where we get better bombs, which she had the entire time. We went through all of Wintry Cave and this entire pillar puzzle area, and she just had them in her back pocket and is like, nah, screw this guy. Jeez, oh Pete, everybody hates that. We're going to bomb this door, head out. Again, here's a route difference. If you are doing Venus Shield route, instead of going up, you're going to go right, back to the city. Do not heal if you're doing Venus Shield route. We'll come up to the inn here. Come up to this guy, buy 0 potions. Your inventory shall now look like this: seeds and potions. I have 1 more seed that I'm supposed to have in a normal route. It's just because we've been explaining stuff. We'll head back up all the way to this pyramid. And just to touch on the Venus Shield route, I know it seems slow. You do have to do extra steps. And the numbers are as follows. The Venus Shield compared to normal shieldless route is roughly 43 seconds slower. You have 1 seed dupe versus 3 on shieldless for a normal run. You buy different amount of items for our underflows we do later. However, the Venus Shield is important because it protects you against paralysis. And near the end of the game, there's a lot of things that can paralyze you. We'll be going over that more later when it's appropriate. But just so you know, it's not that much slower. A minute sounds like a lot, but you have a lot of time loss available for you if you get paralyzed. So we went and bought 0 cure potions for the Venus Shield route. If you're not doing Venus Shield route, you would already have cure potions. You would have 3 in your second spot. You'd have seeds and cure potions. So you would not go back to the city, you'd just come straight up here. We're gonna come up here, use the sword after this cutscene on the statue to open that door. Switch back to bombs right away. Come up here, go left and down. And here's our first underflow if you're doing the Venus Shield route. We grab these refreshers. Our inventory should now look like this for Venus Shield. Seeds, cure potions, refreshers. We cannot not go into a battle right now. We have to do this before the battle, so do not. I like to do it right as soon as I open the chest. We're going to use our cure potions, and you'll see how it just screws up our inventory. Well, kind of. It didn't really do that much, but it did what we wanted it to do. Now we've got extra seeds and infinite cure potions for now. This is what you want your inventory to look like. You should have just 1 seed here if you're following my route. So from here, we'll go ahead and heal up. And we don't need to seed here because we still have a thunder left. Again, if you are doing normal route, you would have probably healed after Snow Crab. And use a seed if you had to use all 5 thunders. Don't use a seed if you only had to use 4. We'll come up here. This formation can either be 3 of the Lamias or this 2 and 1 we see here. Again, we set ourselves up for the future during that Snow Crab fight. So we are already on Thunder all. So coming through here, you can just hold A. But if it is 3 Lamias, you can switch Phoebe to auto, and she will just automatically take care of them. Now we know, if we're keeping track, that we're out of Thunders. We'll come in here. We're always going to use the second stack of seeds. I'm actually just going to use this so it's the way it's supposed to be. So right now, we'd use the seed on Phoebe. We should have 1, 99, and 2. We'll come up here. Again, there's enemies that you cannot see. I didn't really mention that. The enemies in this dungeon are invisible. There's an item that lets you see them. We're not going to get that. We know where they are. They're never going to change. There's an enemy somewhere over here. I guess not. See, I don't even know how to play the game. There is an enemy over here, though. So, again, if we walk next to the enemy, it's not going to cause us to get into a battle. So, just walk wherever you want to. We're going to go top right. Have Phoebe on auto. She's going to fire. We're going to bomb. It's going to be easy peasy. We can leave her on auto. The next one should or could be the 3 Lamia formation again. Perfect. We'll leave her on auto. She'll thunder. We'll take one down of our thunder tally. Again, we're D-pad mashing, A-B mashing through battles. Just follow this path. Don't go down any further than you have to here. This fight can have a couple different formations. This is the bad one. You will not run away normally. I just wanted to get the other formation for you. So it's either going to be 2 wizards and a Lamia, or 2 wizards. This is obviously preferred. You only have to use auto here. She'll automatically use fire. It's going to be nice and easy. You prefer this formation. If you do get the Lamia formation, you can't auto this. So we're going to switch to manual and mash through because we're still on Thunder. This is kind of noteworthy because we used a Thunder early, like on this formation here, and it's obviously we can't use one later now. We're going to come over this way, go straight left. Another 3 Lamia here. We'll auto that with Thunder. I don't know if I've ever seen another formation besides 3 Lamias here, but if you do, just manually cast Thunder all. I'm sure it would kill. Another bad formation here. Switch to manual, Thunder all. Come on down this way. One more fight on this floor. All right. This fight can be a couple different things. It can be the Chimera and Squid, as you saw. Or it can be Solo Squid. Solo Squid, obviously faster. Not that you're not going to run for it, but if you get Solo Squid, you're going to put Phoebe on auto. She'll kill it 777 with fire every time. Makes you feel real lucky. If you do get Chimera Squid, there are 2 ways to go through this. If you are if you have a lot of thunders left and you are familiar with how your routing goes with your thunder usage, you can bomb attack and thunder solo the Chimera. But if you don't want to waste the thunder, which I don't like to do, I come down here, use life. It can miss, which would suck, but it's only like 10% or so. So I life the Chimera, bomb the squid, and we go through. We'll come up through these stairs, and this first floor, where we have a fork, we're gonna go right. Again, you know what to do here, just auto. If you're scared about your fires, you get 10, I believe. You can also have another tally for fires, but if you are following this route, even roughly, you're not going to run out of fires. This formation is probably my least favorite in the entire dungeon. Birds and mage. There is no faster way to do this. I've tried everything. So you auto with Phoebe. She kills a bird in one shot. You bomb these remaining enemies. And the magician will either cure himself or he will try to attack you. So if he cures himself, you cannot kill him with a bomb. So what you have to do is switch Phoebe to auto, or sorry, switch Phoebe to manual, and use fire on both, and that will take care of them. There's another instance of this fight later, and I will show you a difference. So starting here, we'll have some beholder fights. These will never change. We can either, there are two strategies, we can either bomb and defend if we're short on thunders. It's a little slow and Phoebe can get blinded. It's pretty unfortunate. Or we can, if we're good on thunders, we can auto and she'll thunder them. Again, if we're keeping track, now we're out. So before we seed, we're gonna heal. Use the second stack on Phoebe. This next fight is either a crab or a crab and a beholder. The crab is easy. Actually, they're both easy. But for this, we're going to bomb and thunder. Nope, that's not right. I know that's not right. We're going to bomb and regular attack the squid. This will, as long as she doesn't critical hit, that will kill both enemies at the same time with the bombs, which will prevent each sprite from disappearing, like, at a turn. So here again, we have 5 thunders. We're gonna auto that. We're down to 4. Now, before I go any further, this is important. Our inventory layout is very important. We're at the point now where we cannot use this seed until a certain point of this dungeon, because we need the next item we collect to go in this 4th slot. So if we're low on thunders, be really cautious. Do use a bomb if you can use a bomb and still kill, or dupe another seed if you have to. It's really important to have these in your inventory. We're gonna come up here. We switch to the sword after that fight. We're gonna A, use the sword on that statue. Switch back to bomb, make sure Phoebe's on auto. Make sure, again, do not grab that chest. We're not grabbing anything we don't need to. Now we're heading left at this fork. We'll have some hags here. That'll be easy to kill with auto. Keep following this path down. We'll have a few more fights. All right, so here's our formation again. She'll kill that bird as long as she doesn't miss. We'll bomb. And he's gonna cure. So for example, if I tried to just do bomb to save some spells, it wouldn't kill the mage. Oh, son of a bitch. My mistake. Solo crab. Bomb. Defend. Bum, bum, bum. All right, we're back. There it is. All right. Now, if he doesn't cure, The whole point I'm trying to make here is if you want to save spells, you can just use Bomb. But he's just going to cure every time, isn't he? All right, so if we leave Phoebe on auto, she's just going to manually use the bow to attack the bird, and obviously that's bad. So we can either bomb attack to kill them both, or we can use fire. So fire will kill even if the magician cured, but if we defend, the bombs will kill. It is up to you. Fire is only technically faster because she attacks first, but it's totally preference on that one, in my opinion. Again, we can auto if we have the Thunders. If not, we're going to bomb and defend. But I'm running a little short on Thunders right now, so we'll go ahead and bomb. The next fight's going to be a variation of that crab fight again. We got a solo crab, so we're going to bomb defend. Phoebe will not kill with a bow unless she gets a critical, so it's just faster to do it this way. Sometimes the crab outspeeds you, sometimes it doesn't. Again, who knows? You know what to do here? We switch to auto. Do not go up here. I have no clue what's up there, but don't go. Another one of my favorite formations. Again, we're going to auto bomb. The birds can petrify either of you, and it's actually fast if it happens. Just kind of unfortunate. So we'll go ahead and fire to finish those off. See how we're under half health. So I'm going to menu to heal, because if I don't and I use auto, she's going to heal in battle, and that's going to screw us up. So we're all healed up. Again, we're not using seeds unless we absolutely need to, until we get unlimited seeds. Here's the second fork we have, and we're going to go left this time. We will not be going the right way. Sorry, the right direction. All mages, we can auto that. Very rarely, one of the mages will outspeed you. It's only happened to me like 2 or 3 times ever. Come all the way down to the ground here, or to the bottom wall. And we've got a formation with 2 and 1. I believe there can be a 2 Chimera formation here as well. I could be wrong. All right, this one can only be 2 and 1 then. So what we want to do is manually cast Thunder on all of them, and just kind of cross your fingers. These Chimeras can use Confuse. They're 50% faster than you, 50% not. We got lucky there. We'll go through this door, and from here, we're going to walk straight up and just fall down. And here's another relatively major difference between Venus Shield route and normal route. Again, I will be covering both shortly, but mostly Venus Shield. If you're doing normal route, when you drop down here, walk straight left, grab this heal potion, and walk straight up here. There's a fight here. We'll do that fight. You'll go hit a statue with the sword up there. You're going to come back down the same way you came. And one more fight here. You're going to clear that out and jump over the chest, and the routes will match up after that. If we're doing Venus Shield route, we're going to be right here. We're actually going to go up to this right chest. We're going to manually Thunder all here. Oops. See, this is what's going to happen. One confusion. We got lucky again. If they confuse both of you at once, it could be devastating. We're going to grab this chest and go straight back down. Remember, very important where your inventory is. If your inventory doesn't look like this, your run is ruined. Seed, cure, seed, refresher. We grab that chest, come down here, grab these heal potions. That's also relatively important. And then we're going to fight that same battle that the normal route would do. From here, it can be either 2 beholders or the beholders and the bird. We go auto here, and she will kill the bird and we will kill the beholders. We're going to switch to sword out of that in our downtime. Hit that, switch back to bomb. Remember, don't get any other item. We'll hop over that chest we killed or opened. We grab the noble armor, and both routes are now linked up here. Nice long walk. Get a drink of water while you're moving. Come back up through here, and this time we are not falling down. We're going to the right. Again, there's no faster way to do these fights, and it sucks. These birds have ended runs for me before, that's for sure. Go through. Again, we can either bomb defend or use fire with Phoebe, whatever you prefer. And at this point, for the Venus Shield route, you're going to make sure you're healed up, and we're going to use the last seed in our third slot. Do not use this seed. This seed needs to remain there for now. We'll use that on Phoebe. So now we've got seed, cure, blank, refresher. Very important. We'll follow this windy path. Do not fall off. You can. I've never had it in a run, but it would be rather embarrassing if you did. Same deal here. Auto and bomb. We blinded, which kind of sucked, but remember, bombs are 100% accurate no matter what. And we can actually leave that blind there as long as we want, because we will not be using anything but bombs, I don't believe. So I'll just do that to kind of prove a point. So we're going to fall down that hole after we use the bomb, and I like to just hold down an L and R mash until we get to this next platform. We're going to switch to sword, just walk straight up. This is where we fall. We walk straight up, use sword on this statue, switch back to bombs. And here's another difference between the two routes. Normal route, you're going to go, just click down here to fight the invisible enemy in front of the chest. It's going to be Thunder All and Bomb. Venus Shield route, you have to push up and fight the enemy in front of this chest. Do remember, if you're blinded, Phoebe will cure you. So switch to manual and Thunder manually. We're going to get this chest. Remembering our inventory looks like this. Get that chest of heal potions, and now our inventory has to look like this. Perfect. We jump over that chest, walk around the left here. There's an enemy to the left of the chest, so make sure you clear it. Come down, grab this item in the front. It's the Knight's Sword. This is the last sword we'll be getting, and it will give us a speed boost, theoretically, when we use the sword in battle, or when we have it equipped. So before these fights, I like to make sure we're on bomb again. We're going to hold A because we're still on Thunder All. If it is a formation of all Lamias, just switch to auto, or if you're not blinded. Do what you, at this point, you kind of have a feel for what you can auto and can't. So if you can auto it, go ahead and switch to auto. But for these next two fights, they're going to be like this, and we kind of just have to get lucky with the chimeras. Beautiful. There's a 180 no scope by that guy. We're going to switch to claw, climb up here. I like to switch to bomb before the fight in this instance. Man, every chimera fight was good. That doesn't happen often. All right. I know it's scary going into a boss fight blind, but it's still fine. You'll only be using bombs with Benjamin. All right. We come up here. This is the Ice Golem. He is an ass. He has 6,500 HP. He can do a lot of damage to both your characters. He can heal himself by using sap, and for some reason Phoebe actually doesn't resist that one. And just overall, he can kind of just ruin your life. We're going to use bombs with Benjamin, and we're going to use fire with Phoebe. They do so close to round numbers that we actually round these up and down. So we're going to do, count each bomb is 400 damage, and each fire is 600, until we get up to 6,500. And it's not, like, necessary. You don't have to count out if you don't want to, but it does, in some instances, help you. Like, if you know a fire is going to kill on the next attack, you can always defend with Benjamin, so that way you guarantee a fire gets off. So we're going to start. Make sure you use fire, because you're still on thunder from the last Chimera fights. Keep an eye on everybody's HP. So we're still blinded here, and what we're going to do actually is life that to get rid of that blindness. If you're not blind, just use auto. We're actually under-leveled here, so that's pretty unfortunate. I'm also not keeping track of our number. I think we're at 1,400. That's the best attack for him to use because Phoebe resists sleep. I've already lost track. 2,400. 2,800. Oops, I meant to keep her on auto, so she heals. We are also under-leveled for this fight. Generally, you'll be level 11 with 440 HP. It's not the end of the world if you're not. It's just you have to do extra healing. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I had her on life still. All right. Phoebe is generally faster than every boss, but there are instances where you will be outsped, and it's usually right when you need to be faster. Like, if she's about to die and you need to cure her, it's going to be that point in which you're not faster. So we look at this HP right here, and we can technically put her on auto, and if one of the characters gets hit, she'll heal. But we want to be safe. Just kidding, we're going to auto on accident. What I normally would have done is just use cure on both of us manually. So I'll do that now. We'll attack. This is what I meant to do. So even though we weren't below half health, now we're full health, and that will save us from dying on any hard hit. But now we should just be about done. Again, if you were counting, you would know where you're at. We could have defended with Benjamin there in case he was gonna kill Phoebe. But there you go. There's the ice golem. It's pretty straightforward. You're just using bomb fire, watching your HP. He can critical Phoebe. Yeah, Phoebe will die. Sometimes she'll be outsped in times where you need her to be curing people. It is what it is. The ideal time for your split here is about 36 minutes. Anywhere in the 36-minute mark is great time. Even it is possible with a Venus Shield route, even though you do extra fights and an extra visit to the city for this route. It is possible though, just very difficult. From here, we're grabbing that chest. Do not forget that coin. Drop straight down across from the chest. Move one tile right. It's very important. I will show you why, actually. So if I drop on that same tile, it'll actually send me over here to this side, and we'll have to walk through here, go jump over that chest. If we move one tile right, it automatically drops us to the right side, and we can just exit this way. Again, another long, boring walk out of here. Follow the exact route we came in. Making sure to cut your corners one tile instead of walking wide. Go down the stairs. LR mash. LR mash again. And cut your corner. Just back the way we came, bottom left. And here I like to go against the left wall because there's a chest full of bombs here again. You don't always need to grab this, but it is pretty fast. It's normally the only faster way to do this would be to just do one step right, but it's only one extra or two total extra steps. So it's pretty quick to get bombs here no matter what. So I do no matter what my bomb count is. All right, we're out of the ice pyramid finally. We're holding down, holding right, holding down. We're going back to the cave that we found Phoebe, but we're actually going up one from there to this battlefield. Now, in this game, a battlefield is just a series of 10 battles that you do one at a time, and once you beat them all, you either get an item or it's just a bunch of experience. I'm not exactly sure. This is the only one I've ever done. So, this is the exit battlefield. It's another giant source of RNG. This is what you want to see, a single squid. We already know that we can kill a squid with a bomb. Perfect. Now we only need to get that 9 more times for a perfect exit. However, that's almost never the case. There's one other possible formation here, and it's, I don't know if it's a 50-50 on this one, but it's, you either get lucky or you don't. That's honestly just how it goes for this split. And of course, because we're doing a tutorial, we're getting very lucky. But you can kind of catch the number of fights you have left on the overworld, and at the end, it'll tell you like, oh, 6 more to go. And it'll tell you you're on 5 out of 10 on the overworld, or whatever. So if you're like losing track of how many you've done, just kind of keep your eye on that spot. You'll be able to see it. Again, we're A/B mashing and D-pad mashing through these. Holding. So we're not actually holding A, generally. So obviously holding A is the fastest way to get through your menuing in the battle. The only problem is if you're holding A, especially right here, if you're holding A and you kind of lose what you're doing, you can attack this formation, and attacking this formation is a suicide, essentially. So if you ever get this formation, you want to run. If you ever see those 2 pop up, you actually want to mash B, so that way you'll never accidentally fight. And what you actually want to do for every squid, solo squid, you want to mash A instead of hold. So here I'm mashing A, because the squid can actually attack first. And if he attacks first, you get a couple messages, and if you're holding A, those don't clear. So here I'm mashing B. There's a very small chance you get to go first, and that's why you mash B instead of A. And then we run. There's another one. This is more like it. Again, mashing B. Running away. This is the life of Mystic Quest right here. Alright, again, mashing A. If the squid goes first, then we clear those text boxes right away. Alright, we got exit. We split there. And we're going to go left, down, down, through the back of Focus Tower, or the 2nd floor. Come down these stairs to the right. And, again, another difference in the Venus Shield route and the not Venus Shield route. If you are doing normal route, you come down these stairs, push this pillar left, go this way, push it all the way until it hits this little peg. You're going to menu, you're going to seed, and you're going to, heal yourself if you need to, and then you're going to use exit. Venus Shield route. Come down here, immediately go to this bombable wall and bomb it. Get the Venus Shield. And then we do the exact same thing. Come down this way. So I'm only hurt 7 HP. I would not normally heal this. So I just come down, use the seed, and use exit. So now, if we're doing Venus Shield route, this is what our inventory looks like. Blank, cure potions, heal potions, refreshers. Get used to this music. You'll hear it a lot. And it's all very good in this game. So we're coming back down to where we exited to go get Phoebe through the Focus Tower. Come down here, go down the stairs. LR mash. Again, we'll grab this chest of bombs. It's on our way. We might as well. Come up to the 2nd door. Remember, just tap A to clear that box. LR mash. Go up and around. This is where we push that pillar. And now we can jump across. And go left. Up these stairs. LR mash up the, whatever this exit is. So this is where, if you're doing normal route, our first big glitch is going to be. This is technically Venus's Shield 2nd glitch. Venus's Shield's 2nd glitch. We're going to the city of Fireburg with the best music in the game. And this is one of the 2 times we'll hear it for 10 seconds. Come up to this hotel. We're going to go right. Go right away, because if you go up, you'll have to go around these trees. Come up to this person who sells seeds, and we're actually going to buy 0. just like we did with the cure potions earlier. So now our inventory looks like 0, cure potion, heal, refresher. So then we come up here. I like to pause here and use the seed. So now we have unlimited seeds and unlimited sky coins. Again, refresher, heal and refresher. And then we come to this person. And for, again, Venus Shield route only, up 3 times, and we're going to purchase 31. If you are doing normal route, you go up 2 and left 2. So Venus Shield, we buy 31. And regular, we buy 19. So again, I'm doing Venus Shield, I'm going to buy 31. We immediately come out here, and we exit. And back the way we came. Again, just holding the direction you want to move on the overworld. Throw all those little shakes and you'll be fine. Just keep walking through here. We'll jump back over that pillar we pushed. If you are new to this game, one of your very first runs, go back, grab more bombs if you need them, just at that chest there. Otherwise, come through this door. All right, go to the right here, to the rope bridge. Everybody's favorite character, we're going to get him again. Switch to sword. This is now where we're going to start using exit in battle. It's the most powerful spell we'll get because it essentially allows you to just kill every enemy. You don't kill him, you just banish him from battle. So this is arguably the hardest fight in the game. And I know that sounds stupid, a single mummy, but believe me, you are slower than him, and exit can miss, and he can put you into a stone state. He can confuse you, or put you to sleep. I don't think he can confuse you, but he can also hit you for a lot of damage. So, you just use exit on him. You go to sleep, okay? You keep going. You just keep going. All right. You wait until he either uses a move that doesn't kill you or you're immune to it. And then we're going to A-B mash because this is just conversation. Well, once we start the conversation with Ruben, which we haven't even seen, but he was somehow in our party. Thanks to the underflow glitch with the seeds we just did. And it's everybody's favorite Tristan. Make sure he's on manual, and we're going to hold start, and we're going to exit out of here. Again, if we ever have to leave somewhere, we're going to exit. It's always faster. Except for one instance I'll show you later. All right, coming into the forest, we're going to make sure we're on axe. Come down here. This stack of 2 trees, we're going to cut. Again, cutting is just A. And if you're doing like a whole line of trees or mushrooms, it's really kind of hard to explain, but you just practice a little bit of rhythm. Everybody has their own kind of thing they do to get into a rhythm. Because if you do your A press too fast, you'll either, you know, slash at the wrong thing, or you'll just won't slash at all, or you won't move, or etc., etc. So you want to just do those, just do these 2 trees. Switch back to your sword, and we will start the bridge. Now this formation can be 2 mummies, 3 mummies, 2 and 1, like this. If you ever have 3 mummies, which I don't know if I've... Okay, perfect. 3 mummies. Do not fight them. Tristram is useless against mummies. So run away from a 3 mummy. A 2 mummy is great. We're going to use exit and defend with Tristram. We're going to hold A because we're going to do the exact same thing. We don't need to heal Tristram because we don't care about him at all. All right. He is very good against these specters. So we're going to, again, exit. But we're going to switch Tristram to attack. He has 697, kills him. I will show you more formations on the second fight here, because that can also have mummies in it. Make sure we switch back to the axe. Get your little rhythm going here. Just that little bottom, shorter line of trees. Oopsie. So here, what we want to do is we want to make sure we exit the thing that Tristram cannot kill. So we exit the mummy, and then we attack the specter. So, the Spectre can do an attack. I don't think I can do it now. Alright, that's fine. The Spectres can do attacks, which I will actually show you. I'll try to get them to do it. That wasn't it. He can do an attack that basically debuffs you. Right there. So if you ever have something that does 1 damage to Tristram, at that point for the rest of the battle, he cannot kill a Spectre by himself. So if you see, unless he critical hits. So he does an attack. Of course he criticals. If he gets that debuff, he will not kill those. So either defend Benjamin or also attack with Benjamin. So we're going to talk to this giant tree, the Deku tree. We're going to have a little tiny cutscene with Tristram when he comes back in. We're only going to heal ourselves because, again, who cares about Tristram? And then we're going to exit. Oh, then we got a big, long walk back. Again, get a drink of water. This is kind of a boring part. Grab bombs here if you need them. I skip this and get them on the way back because we're just the way I do. Go out this way. We're basically going back to the city where Phoebe tried to bring everything back to life. All right, we're going to LR mash. Our first stop is down the stairs. If you forget and you try to go left, instead of trying to correct yourself by going around, you can just jump from here. It's nice to know. I actually have to utilize that quite often. Otherwise, you're going to go here, walk through the side of the stairs. You want to be on this top tile of the bridge here as you go under to get under the house. LR mash. Again, go through the side of the stairs. And this is just a bunch of walking. Enjoy the good music. Talk to the chat if you're streaming. Remember to LR mash. And then here, do not go on this bridge. You will do it at least once, and then you'll never do it again. You're going to come down here, jump 1 tile over. It saves you 2 steps. It's 2 steps. And then we're just going to mash through this cutscene. Tristram's going to show off the claw again. For no reason. But then he's going to give it to us, which is great. The Dragon Claw not only boosts our magic attack, but it allows us to actually petrify an enemy if we attack with it. Phoebe comes, has 1 text box here and 1 right here, so don't stop mashing until that text box is gone. She blows up this whole cave, and we just kind of follow along. We get this cutscene started. Just 1 more text box, and we give her the old shrug. Hold start, and exit on out. Hold A as this screen transition is happening, so go right back in, and this time we're going left. Avoid that grandma. Just jump over if she gets in the way. From here, we're going straight left to the bed, where Kaylee is chilling. For some reason, she's here now. But now we get her in our party again. Hold start. And if you are low on your white spells, because sometimes you will, depending on your formations on the bridge, use a seed. We have unlimited seeds now, so really just, especially when you're just learning the game, don't hold back. So either seed or don't, and then exit. And we're going all the way back to the bridge area. Another part where you get a drink of water and talk to your chat. Make sure you go in the bottom of Focus Tower. Don't go back through the top, because that's not where you need to be. Again, this is where I grab the bombs. That's the last time I'll be grabbing bombs through this run. 30 is more than enough to get you through the rest. All right, so the way exit works is it will take you out of any dungeon or city you're in, but it will take you to the last known entrance that you came through. So what we actually want to do is exit all the way through the Focus Tower, but go right back in. So this sets our exit point to this door here. We're actually going to go back up and down these stairs now. We're going to make sure we're on sword. So we'll use that screen transition to switch to sword. Go down these steps. Make sure Kaylee is on manual. And we are going to use exit. We got strike first, which is great. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. So I like to use exit on the Minotaur, and on her spells, down left is arrow, which is like the wind spell, and I like to use that on the ninja. Ninjas can essentially call for help or reproduce, so you want to get him out of any formation if possible, and then just hold A to exit arrow this guy. Again, arrow will never miss. It's a black spell or a wizard spell, whatever it is, so it'll never miss. So even if she's blind, don't worry about it. Grab this chest. You get arrow for yourself now. Perfect. Grab start, exit, and if you didn't seed before, you're probably going to have to seed right there, so seed at that menu. Go down to the tree area again, the alive forest, I see it's called. Switch to your axe. We have to redo all this clear cutting we did earlier. Go back to sword. Arrow is our best spell for a little while. I want to get a formation of 3 mummies. We can now officially kill 3 mummies efficiently with Kaylee. If it is a 2, which is great, we're going to queue up arrow. We won't actually use it, but we'll queue it up and then use it with her. She will automatically kill any 2 formation with arrow at this point on the bridge. But if we get a 3 of this, like this, we'll do, we'll get arrow with both. Arrow all on both characters. And if Benjamin happens to survive to his next turn, great. If he doesn't, then you just hold A and Kaylee will do the same thing. That's going to happen a lot to you throughout this dungeon. Okay, so we get that. If you are level 12, Benjamin can kill 2 by himself with the claw equipped. Remember, the claw gives you magic damage boost. Level 11 does not kill. I will show you. So unfortunately, it does not kill. If you're level 12, it will. So if you get a formation of like this, where it's 2 and 1, then have Andrew level 12, arrow all with Benjamin, and then arrow single to get this Spectre out of the way with Kaylee. It's the fastest way to do it, only technically. You can still backfire on you pretty bad, like that. But if that happens, you're going to have to take 2 turns anyways, so now you just have 1 less enemy to deal with. So get through that fight. Whatever happens, happens. If you're not level 12, you have to arrow all with both regardless. And then you can keep your sword out just in the hopes that it'll make you go faster. So arrow all, arrow all. What you really want is formations of 2, but you don't run away for those, because it's still relatively quick to kill these things. So they just dropped both of our powers, but it doesn't affect magic at all. It's just like attack, so don't worry about that. The only time you have to worry is if it's with Tristram. We finally got level 12. Again, switch your axe. We'll go through here. Please. Now, we are level 12, but it doesn't matter at this point because we cannot kill 2 Spectres. So we're still going to arrow all here. All right. Before going in, if I'm hurt enough, I will come down through here and heal up. Again, talk to the tree. This split isn't on most people's live splits, but I like to split here because it's a long time between exit and Gidra. All right, come on through here. I don't know if you're... Well, I'll wait until I get there. So this is the last part. We can do a level 12 with Benjamin. So we'll switch to our claw. We'll arrow all and arrow single with Kaylee. The only reason we do this is because it only allows 2 enemies to attack most times, and hopefully we get lucky enough to make it work. In this instance, we do. All right, perfect. We are hurt a lot, so we'll cure real quick. We'll switch to sword, and here is the only time in the entire game when you are guaranteed to strike first. The next 3 battles, next 3 battles. So you want to go in mashing. Mashing B at least to clear that until you set up your spells. You want to do exit, and you want to do attack. And then just hold A, exit attack again. But same thing here. We want to We're going to go into this next battle, and we're going to mash into it because we are guaranteed to strike first. Just like that. And then I do want to show you one thing. If you are doing the Venus Shield route, notice how we still have refreshers in our inventory. We need those out, and we cannot use them outside of battle. This is the first chance we have in the game to use refreshers on these 2 fights coming up. If we get a formation of 2, we still are guaranteed to strike first. So what you want to do is use refresher and then attack with Kaylee. Remember, the item use is really quick, so don't mash a ton or else you're going to overmash and do a lot of weird stuff. Again, we can do the same thing. We don't get attacked. It takes just slightly longer, but we got rid of a refresher. If you get lucky, you can get rid of 2 of them in this dungeon. If not, there is a guaranteed area later on. Sorry, so we don't get 2 in a row, so we'll switch back to exit and keep attacking. Again, exit is a white spell, so it can miss. If it does, just keep trying to use exit. Heal as necessary, but try to do all your healing outside of battle. It's not really worth wasting a turn. Okay, so we climb up that wall. We claw down. The new claw allows us to grapple. We claw down to this little Y. So we're going to be here. We come down left, stop 1 tile short, and grapple from there. Come left here. Go up here. You can technically jump over those, but again, it's a frame slower if you care. Stop a tile short here. Go up there. Up to the top and claw over. We're going to keep claw out. We're going to LR mash. Stop 2 tiles to the right of the scorpion right there. So we're going to stop there. Claw left. And claw over. Switch to sword. This is the last fight where we have to mash, because we got to guarantee strike first. I don't believe this one can be 2 stumps by itself. So we cannot use a refresher here. All right. We don't have to mash anymore. We can keep holding A because there's no more guaranteed strikes. But we're going to keep exiting and using the axe. We generally do not want to use auto throughout this dungeon because Kaylee can do some weird stuff on auto that you don't expect. Like sometimes she'll use arrow on the scorpions, which is just slow. The arrow animation is like 2.5 seconds, and the axe is obviously like less than a second. So just keep her on manual. It's easier that way. We'll climb up here, switch to sword, and poke this face in the face. And here is where we start the worms. The most dreaded part of my entire run. Second most dreaded part of my entire run. There are different strategies here. Every single worm from here until a point I will tell you later. Worms can be one of 3 formations. A 2. A 2. A 2. A 2. 2. This is very unlikely. It's a 50-50 chance on this one. There, okay. Or a 3. So those are your 2 options for these worms for this first floor. So there are 2 strategies. Calm Lamity, bless his heart. He is, bless his soul? What's the saying? I don't know. Calm Lamity, number 3 on the leaderboards currently as the time of this video. Him and I have been working together, and he gave me this strategy. We've been working together on some stuff. I don't believe anybody else knows this, so I'm kind of spoiling it for me and him. But what you want to do in my runs and Calm's runs, you would run away from a 3. You run away from every single worm formation that isn't a 2 up until that point I'll tell you later. We've done math. We've both done math. He did math way before me, and did a lot more than I did, but I just did my own just to kind of show my stream. It is faster for you to run, go back in, and what you do, you keep yourself on exit, and you go over to Kaylee and auto both. Or not, sorry, arrow both. So again, these worms are a roughly 50-50 chance of being a 2 worm formation. So you're going to claw to the left there. If we get a 3, pardon me, we're just going to run. The alternate strategy is to just fight every fight as it comes. If you get lucky with a 2, then arrow all. If you don't, then you arrow and arrow, I think. But we're not going to do that. We're going to run. That's our first run. If you get lucky, you only have to run once, and then you get a 2-worm formation. We got to reset our thing because we ran away and did some weird stuff. So we got that. And we keep going. Again, this first room, the worms can be either 3s or 2s. We want 2s, and if we get 3s, we run away. We can run away up to 3 times. Like, if you run 3 times and then get a 2, you barely lose time over just fighting an initial 3. If you run once or twice, you still save time overall instead of fighting the 3 formation in the first place. That's why we do it. That's why myself and Calm do it. So we fight those worms. We get them to be 2s. We stab this guy in the face. Switch to axe because we got more mushrooms. Or no, this is our first time seeing mushrooms. Go left here. This room now, we can have 3 different formations. We can have 3 worm. We can have 2 worm. And we can have something way worse, if I ever get it. 2 worms and an ooze. So in this case, 3 is way faster. Sorry, running away 3 times from this is way faster than trying to fight this one. Because that one is kind of rough. So again, we're gonna run from everything that isn't just 2 worms. As I'm doing this, so as we're waiting for the fight to start, tapping the direction of the worm and AB mashing. Because AB and touching the enemy will start the battle. So I know, this sucks. Like, this is the whole point of the strategy. You either get lucky or you don't. And Calm's number 3 in the leaderboards. I'm trying to get the world record. I'm not going to get the world record without taking some RNG risks. You can go through and fight, but overall, if you do statistically average, you will save time doing the run strategy. So that was like the worst. That's usually the worst I'll get. Sometimes you get really, really bad luck and have to run away like almost double-digit times. But, oops, we're going down. But that's the whole point of this strategy. You do it because you are trying to get lucky, trying to get a top time. If it's your first time through and you don't want to do this, then go ahead and fight every formation. The only problem is you have to heal. That's why it's faster for the most part. First of all, you get 1 turn, and second of all, you don't have to heal at all until the worms are done being nice. So, sorry, I kind of got sidetracked. We fought 1, 2, 3 worms, and we ignore this 4th worm. Come up here. If you're doing the normal route, just skip this chest. If you're doing Venus Shield route, grab this chest. We should now have 6. At this point, I switch to Claw, and I make sure I am healed up. If I'm not healed, I'll heal. And then I'll use Seeds. This is a good halfway point of the dungeon, kind of, for me. If I use Seeds here, I won't run out of spells. Again, running away until we get a 2. And we're still on arrow, so I can just hold. And just remember that we are still queued up with exit. And here's a weird little glitchy thing here. We come in with Claw. Normally you'd kind of do one of these, but if you just hold A, oops, to the left, you can just drop off the side. Kind of weird, but saves you a few steps. Keep running. Nice. See, when you get them on the first, it's great. And if you're doing the original route, that's obviously what you're hoping for. So we're coming down through that face. Come down here and fight this guy. Again, this is an instance where if you use auto, it's going to be some weird stuff. So switch to sword. We'll use exit. We're already queued on exit. And we'll switch to attack with Kaylee. If we put her on auto, she'll try to arrow all, and it won't even kill them. So it's weird. There are, like I said at the beginning, there are a few formations like that in this game. So we make her manually attack. We'll drop down this little vine here. Make sure you're on sword before that. or right as you land. We'll stab this face. Another worm that can we can manipulate for a 2 formation. Perfect. Remember, she's on attack though. So quickly, obviously that was pretty fast. You'll get that fast eventually with enough practice. Again, we don't want to auto here, but we do want to manually attack. And then we'll do the same thing. And then we'll switch to our claw, climb up here. You can fall off these going sideways. Do not think otherwise. Not that I've ever done that, but just know. Get up to around wherever you want, let go, but then immediately repress. So you catch on the bottom. Same thing here. And then instead of going up to this one, which is what the game wants you to do, just kind of walk off the edge there and catch on that. This is the very last worm that we can manipulate for a 2 formation. I always like it when my runs end with this one being a 2 off the bat. It feels good. But this is not one of those times. We are on attack with Kaylee, so again, we're gonna... Oops. See, I missed my up input. Bummer. But that's all right. Mistakes happen. We stab this face, go down here. And now we start the Ooze RNG. Again, there are many different things you can do here. I will show you what I think Almagus' strat is, which is to do this. We go in with bombs. Oozes are weak to bombs. Almagus' guide says to attack with bombs and leave Kaylee on auto. She'll attack 1. They will both attack. I don't think Benjamin's ever faster than them. And then we will bomb, killing the first one. And she'll attack or heal if you got hurt and do that. So that is one strategy. The way that I do this, and I only, well, I guess we'll wait until we get to the next ooze, huh? Again, nice and easy arrow all to kill these with Kaylee. Skip the first phase, come to the second phase. I always forget I have to have my axe out here. This one actually does matter because we add the axe in. So don't go zigzag here. Go straight up. Go this way. All the way left. Again, just work on your own kind of pattern, your own rhythm here. You won't lose a ton of time by messing up, but it doesn't feel good. So we get here. We'll switch back to bomb. And I will show you what I like to do, which doesn't matter because we have a skeleton. Almost all of the ooze formations can have a skeleton, and they can not have a skeleton. If we do get a skeleton, no matter what strategy you're doing, switch Kaylee to manual, attack with bombs, and arrow single the skeleton. And then you put it on auto if that's what you're doing. It would limit the amount of enemies attacking to 1. We are hurt, so we are going to heal that. Again, we don't need to seed until the boss, because the time at which I seed guarantees we won't run out of spells. All right, so we're gonna attack again. Attack, or arrow the skeleton. That was close. So notice how after every ooze fight so far I've had to heal, I think. If not, all but 1. That is the reasoning behind my strategy, which I will do here regardless of a skeleton. Actually, you know what? Screw that. We'll just wait until we don't get a skeleton. Alright, this is my strategy. I attack and defend with Kaylee. The oozes can do a couple attacks. They can do that little thunder attack. They can do this little acid attack. Nothing really hurts her that much, but they also do a sap attack, which she can absorb and actually get healed from. So if I'm bombing and defending on every ooze, It actually allows me to almost never have to heal through this section. Of course, the skeletons attached to these formations can kind of screw that up, but if you get lucky and have almost every ooze formation just the oozes and do attack and defend, you won't have to heal at all, so there's no menuing until you get to like this fight, probably. At this point, well, I gotta save before that. Again, we'll do attack, defend. The only bad thing about this strategy is it's very slightly slower if you don't account for the menuing. Also, you cannot get a critical with Kaylee, obviously, because she's not attacking. But at this point, you don't want to bank on a critical to get through a fight. So get through those safely. Come down here. I generally like to have Claw out for this fight, because it can either be the 3 worms or the 2 and 1. And if you recall, when I said we got this Claw, it actually has a secondary benefit of inflicting Petrify. So if we use it to manually attack the ooze, we have a chance to immediately kill it. So we're going to manually attack the worms with Kaylee and manually attack the ooze with Claw with Benjamin. And that's what we want to have happen right there. Sometimes he'll miss, sometimes he will just do normal damage. If he does normal damage, then just follow up with attacks from Kaylee and Benjamin and it'll be fine. Again, we're going to attack, defend. Attack, defend. And it's a nice 2-stack, so we can just arrow all with Kaylee. I think that one is always 2. If it's 3, then just arrow all with both characters. Again, this formation could have an ooze, so I switch to Claw just in case. It does in this instance, so we'll attack and attack. Man, 2 out of 2 on those. Pretty good. All right, we'll switch back to bomb. Again, if we don't get a skeleton here, then we don't even need to heal. Beautiful. Do this, and then we'll defend. After this is our last ooze fight of this dungeon. So we'll heal after this, and then we'll have 2 skeleton fights, and then it's the boss. So we'll go ahead and heal up. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you can choose to heal with Benjamin. But if your finger slips or your controller is kind of being a little iffy and you accidentally use exit, like at this point of the game, and there's 2 fights left to the boss. You exit out, you have to fight everything again. Obviously, if you're in a marathon, you got to go, but like if you do it in a run, you just ruined a run. So that's why I choose to heal with my partner every time. Here, we're going to arrow all. This is always a 2. The next one is always a 3. So do that. Switch to Claw, so we can climb up this. Switch to Sword, so we can stab this guy in the face. We have to arrow all with both. Benjamin cannot kill two skeletons by himself. But we can use Sword. We don't need the extra magic damage with the Claw. Nice. If you get lucky, we go before 1 or 2 skeletons. Most of the time, they all have to attack. A lot of the time, Benjamin dies, then you just arrow all with Kaylee, and then everything's fine. We're going to heal up again. Oops. Heal up again. And this time, we're going to seed, because we're at the boss. I didn't see. There we go. Switch to your Claw. And you actually have to... You can't just walk into Ghidra. That screws me up all the time. You actually have to talk to Ghidra, so just be aware of that. So Ghidra is not that bad, but it also is pretty bad. This is the first instance of the Venus Shield being more beneficial than the shieldless route. Ghidra can petrify you, he can paralyze you, he can... the skeletons can confuse you. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong here. However, the Venus Shield takes the paralysis out of the equation. Let's say you're doing the normal route, and you get to Ghidra, and you're almost done with the fight. he paralyzes Benjamin. You put Kaylee on auto so she heals him, but that's one of the instances where Gidra will outspeed you, and if he uses Petrify on Kaylee, then you wasted that entire fight. You have to start over. So the fight's over or your run's over. That is why I prefer to do Venus Shield route. It's 43 seconds to 1 minute slower, but if something like that happens and you don't have Venus Shield, then you automatically, like, you either lose the run or you lost that minute. Easy. So that's the main benefit of that route. That's why I do it. If you have any more questions, feel free to come and ask me about it. So anyways, Gidra's got 13,000 HP. That's really, it's not that bad. It sounds bad, but it's not. So we're going to start off the battle by using Exit on one skeleton and solo arrow. Do not arrow all on accident. The other. You actually have to choose each skeleton. If you don't, then Benjamin or Kaylee will attack Gidra instead of the second skeleton. So that'll kill him. You kind of hope. So perfect. She's resist the paralysis, so he wasted a turn. We got that exit off. This is beautiful. We don't have to heal. We're going to switch to the claw. Actually, I'm going to show you the magic boot buff you get. So we're going to arrow and arrow. But watch Benjamin's damage. Hey, look at that. We're strong against paralysis. 15-10. So if we switch to the claw. Okay, 15-4. Okay, 30 damage. I thought it was a lot more than that. But still, it's more beneficial. We're going to keep that going. The difference becomes a lot greater near the end of the game. Like, your magic damage scales with your level and all that kind of stuff. Whenever we get low, switch Kaylee to auto. She'll heal him. Whenever she's not low, make sure to switch her off of auto. She still might use arrow, but she also a lot of the time uses axe, which does about 700 damage. At this point, we are 8 points under half health with Kaylee. We most likely will not die. We are getting close to the end of the boss. At this point, I personally would take a risk and just continue to attack. Okay, it wasn't a risk. It was a guarantee. Let's go. You could have healed there if you were nervous. If you're not keeping track of health, I don't keep track of health on most of these bosses, just because I'm always talking to people in chat and whatnot. But heal when you feel you need to heal. You'll get a feel for the fight once you've done enough runs. There's a little cutscene here. This is where Dancing Mad would say Goon Kid, because the trees in the background spell Go On Kid, but it looks really bad. I'm actually going to take 3 seconds to go get some more water. I'll be right back. All right, so we are still on claw from the fight. We're gonna come down. Just make sure you let go of the A button so you drop faster. Come down this vine. Go up to this little face here. Come down and drop and let go of A again. Just keep holding down to drop straight down this vine. Switch to the axe. If you are doing Venus Shield route and you would like extra safety, come grab these heal potions. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 extra steps total. In my opinion, it's worth it if you're doing safe strats. So by all means, go grab that. In this mushroom room, go straight left and down. If you're not doing Venus Shield route, do not grab that potion. Or that chest of potions. Again, doing the long L instead of the zigzag, it's faster. We'll come up here and grab our first real powerful spell, Meteor. We'll come through here. I will heal up and then use exit. We finished the tree. I hate that place so much, and I think a lot of other people do. So go down, go right twice, and go up to the city called Windia. Normally, apparently, in a normal playthrough of this game, you would have done something in the area we skipped to clear all these clouds. So you kind of can't see anything, obviously. So just right twice, up once. So in the notes, I like to have, well, make notes yourself. I've played this game for almost a year, getting there. I've done well over 1,000 runs, and I still have notes. Do not be ashamed of that if you, for some reason, would be ashamed of that. It's very useful. I call this one Windia 1. We come back here 4 times, or we come to the city 4 times total. So Windia 1, we go get the Cupid locket. We go in, immediately go left up to this first house. We talk to this blue-haired lady and only mash A. If you mash B and say no to her, then you didn't buy it, and obviously you want to buy it. So we exit this building after we buy the Cupid locket. Go around the left side so you don't get trapped by that person to the right. Come through this house. The bomb stairs is on the left. Oops. And then go through this portal. Come down up these stairs. And then talk to this guy with the afro. He will give you the last bomb upgrade. Go right back through the stairs. Go through the portal. Make sure you go through the portal the second time before you use exit. Exit out. Go back in. I switch to sword. Remember, I don't like doing conversations while I have a bomb out. Come to this house, which I call Chocobo, because if you look at the top, I think El Magus' guide also says Chocobo. That wind vein kind of looks like a Chocobo. So come up here. Talk to Old Man Glasses. AB mash. Once Kaylee comes back to our party, we stop mashing and don't move. We use exit. Now we go down, right, and up. Again, buffering these inputs with the D-pad. So, at this stage, at this, not even dungeon, this mountain, your level is important. Level 16 is good, level 15 is bad. If you're level 16, you can kill everything in this area with your sword. If you're level 15, you have to have your claw out. So we're level 16. We're going to do claw, or sword. You're going to walk up those 2 flights of steps. Jump over here. Go down. Go up these stairs here with the skeleton on top. And remember that spell we just got? I probably should go to the next split, hey? So, our wizard magic is the 3rd one down, or if you're at the white magic, it's 1 up. So, meteor. It will kill every formation of 2 in this with sword if you're level 16. If you're level 15, it will kill every formation of 2 with the claw out. So we're going to kill 1 with Kaylee. Arrow, a single thing on every one of these fights here. And then that's one instance where the sword actually made us go before a skeleton, so that's why 16 is important. So, if you are level 16, or if you're level 15, this fight, more often than not, gives me level 16. At this point, I seed. Even though we've only used 1 spell, 16 gives you an extra wizard spell, like as a cap. So 4 is the exact amount you need to get through the rest of this mountain. So as long as you're level 16 at that point, after that fight I seed, as soon as I turn level 16, I'll seed. So we use claw to grapple over that gap. Jump over here, I switch back to sword because I forgot about that. And again, we'll arrow single with Kaylee and meteor. Go down these stairs as you see them. This formation has a chance to be just 2 enemies. If it is just 2, then you're going to flare or meteor and defend with Kaylee. These vampires are a lot like the ninjas. They can kind of reproduce. So if that happens, it's kind of unlucky. If you end up flaring a group of 3, they won't die. But if they're hurt, then you can arrow all with Kaylee, and they'll all die. Come down those stairs. Do not go up here. There's nothing up here. I used to do that all the time. There's literally nothing here. So don't fall into that trap. Let's go to the right, the stairs. If we're low on health, it's smart to heal. Since Benjamin's now our damage dealer for this area, we want to keep him alive. Again, we'll single arrow with Kaylee. If there's ever a formation that has one vampire, I usually use my arrow single on the vampire just to make sure it doesn't replicate itself. Again, we're low on health. It kind of sucks. Go up this last flight of stairs. We're almost at the boss. Hop across this bridge. Hey, look. Formation of 2. We'll do this and defend. Meteor defend. So as I keep saying, the sword theoretically gives you speed boost. We only got 1 through that entire mountain. Which is fine. I don't expect it ever, so when it happens, it's nice. So that's our last fight before the boss. We're going to go ahead and seed and heal. Opposite order, heal and then seed. This is our good friend Dullahan. He can be terrible. We have to talk to him as well, just like we did with Ghidra. So, Dullahan has 2 vampires with him, and also has 14,000 HP. But his attacks are far stronger than Ghidra's, and he's far more dangerous. He has the ability to use Doom Dance, which will immediately kill either of your characters. If he kills Kaylee, your run's over. Or not, well, I mean, depending on how serious you are. Your fight is over at a minimum, because you can't really come back from that. So we're going to start off with the sword out. We're going to use Exit on a vampire, and we're going to use Arrow Single on a vampire, the other one. Make sure you actually select each one. Oh, we got lucky. We don't have to heal. Oh, we missed an exit. All right, so we missed our exit. That happens. You got to just adapt. This is the kind of stuff that happens. Like, you'll do a miss, and then you have to figure out how to correct it. So we already know Kaylee is going to attack first. So we are going to queue up our normal attack for Dullahan. Oops. So we're going to start using Meteor, and she's actually going to arrow single the vampire. Dullahan takes 8 meteors to kill total. And every 3 axes or arrows that Kaylee gets off is equivalent to 1 meteor. So, at this point, we're going to switch her to auto and just use Meteor and have her auto the whole fight. Kind of keep track. We're at 2 meteors and an axe. For some reason, he's not attacking us. 2 meteors, 2 axes. Doom Dance, that sucks. It has a chance to miss, and if it doesn't miss, it's really awful. There's an attack. Perfect. So this will be 3 meteors and 2 axes. If you lose track, just know that you have 4 spells. So just keep using them until you can't use them, and that's 4. But we're keeping track, so that's number 4. We're actually going to go down here and use a seed. If, for some reason, it works out this way, you can also use a seed with Kaylee when Benjamin has 3 left, or 1 meteor left. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's pretty rare, so don't bank on it. Just after you've used 4 meteors, use seed. And then careful with your mashing, because using items is very quick, and you'll overmash and try to run away. So I mash B to make sure I don't accidentally click anything. Using the seed resets our cursor, so make sure you go back to Meteor. Leave her on auto still. She's going to be on auto the whole fight. Oh. Doom Dance on Kaylee is always nerve-wracking, but he missed, thank goodness. This is number 3, so in theory, once we do 2 more meteors, he dies. So, there's 1. And now what we can do, since we are actually keeping track, we use our meteor and defend. That we guarantee that we get our meteor off. And if I'm doing the numbers right, which I apparently am not, so now I'm going to defend and attack, because this should kill. There it is. Maybe I was off on my count. Either way, once you get a feel for it, you know when to do it, and you can do things like that, like on the snow crab. You can defend to guarantee you get a move off. So we're going to come down here, immediately heal, and seed, and exit. Down, left, up. Back to Windia. I call this Windia number 2. On this one, we're going to go straight right to Chocobo. talk to this old sunglasses again. He's gonna go away, and we're gonna talk to him again. I always overmash that. We're gonna immediately exit, and this is the part of the run that everybody dreads for any percent. This is the infamous Pazuzu. Now, his tower is 7 floors high, and he can be on floor 6, floor 5, floor 4. Nope, not floor 4. Yes, floor 4. Floor 2 and floor 1. He cannot be on floor 3 or floor 7. You have a 1 in 5 chance. 1 in 5? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1 in 5 chance of him being on a good floor. Floor 6 is the fastest. I will try to teach you all of the floors, just in case you want to finish runs. But floor 6 is, once you get serious, if you don't get a floor 6, it's a reset. Because it's like many minutes slower. Between a floor 6 and a floor 1 or a floor 2, it's like 9 minutes slower. So it's a pretty big deal. So, we want to be on bombs, and we want to be on manual. I will show you why. We'll come up here. You can skip behind these pillars, like one tile, just like the pillars in the ice place. So we're gonna go right behind this pillar, talk to this little girl, Norma. She's gonna leave, somehow phase through our body. We're gonna come through here, and I will show you what happens if you just forget what you're doing and hold A. And she's on auto. Cool, well, that did not do what I was supposed to do. But I defend it. Anyways, doesn't matter. What you want to do is make sure you attack with both. A lot of the time, you're either still on Meteor, and you'll accidentally Meteor these guys, and these guys are immune to spells. Or, if you keep her on auto, she will try to use arrow on these things. And it happens all of the time, and I don't know why. So we're going to come through here. I like to keep attacking with Kaylee. However, if you... because I normally don't have 9 heal potions, but if you leave her on auto, she'll actually use a heal potion in battle to heal herself. But if we're doing Venus Shield route, we need to be really careful about our number of heal potions, because we need heal potions left when we're done with this tower. Here we go. This is the area where we're going to use all of our refreshers. So we got lucky and we got rid of one in the tree, but we're going to have to get rid of some here, the rest of them. So these are just like the worms. They can be a 2 or they can be a 3. So the same way, we're going to actually run away from 3s. Wait for a 2, and now we're going to use Refresher. We don't automatically get past a strike first on these guys, but it's still the safest place to use Refreshers. There are 2 options for every enemy in here. The El Magus' guide just tells you to use Arrow, and that's fine. It has 100% hit rate, and that's why you do it. Again, it's a very slow animation, so it kind of sucks. Remember, we're using items, so be careful about your mashing so you don't overmash. I, and Calm Laminy told me about it. This is what we do now. We use life. Every single enemy in here, except for 1, is subject to life. And if the animation is far faster, the only downside is it can miss. So, either arrow life, or arrow... Sorry, either use arrow, use life. Doesn't matter. Again, we're going to hold A, because we have refreshers queued up and life queued up. We are out of refreshers, finally, so we're going to come back up, queue up, exit. So here is one problem with using life. Since it's supposed to be a use on yourself kind of spell, once you use it once on the enemy, it defaults back to your party. So you cannot just mash through, or else you're going to heal yourself. So I have like an audio thing I do, so it goes... So I hear it go there. I can't do it without actually starting the fight. So it's 4 dings, and then I go 1, 2, up, 1. You'll get your own cycle to go fast. That's just what I do. It happens on every fight. If she ever has to do 2 lives in one fight, it will reset between the casts. But between fights, it'll stay on the enemy for some reason. So just be aware of that. You're going to screw it up sometimes. Don't worry about it. So this is where we're going to first talk to Pazuzu. I do something every run called the Dancing 10 Manip, which isn't an actual manipulation. And I screwed it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But literally, there's no manipulation known for Pazuzu. If anybody knows how to do RAM searching and can do any of that stuff, and you want to do it for the community, dude, we'd all love you. But come up here. You automatically start talking to him. He disappears. Like I said, he goes to one of those 5 floors. So we want it to be on Bomb and Auto. Now that we're past that first Beholder fight, Kaylee will not use Arrow on them. It's really odd. So we're going to attack, have her to go on Auto. Again, we have the safety heal potions for the Venus Shield route. So we're going to keep her on Auto. She will heal her own blindness with a heal potion. And then we will kill the last 2 with our Jumbo Bombs. We're going to switch to the sword. And we're going to use Exit and Life. Again, if there are formations that can have differences, I'll note them. But a lot of these are just fixed. Like these last 3 are fixed. This is the one enemy that you cannot use life on. So keep your exit queued up, but just move down 1 slot to Arrow. He's weak to Arrow, and it'll kill him. Excuse me. But just remember that you moved to Arrow. So here's our Beholder hallway. There are 3 fights, and they're all Beholders. So there's 2 strategies here. There is the normal Bomb Auto strategy. She's bound to get blinded on every single fight. And if you got the safety potions, then by all means, leave her on Auto to heal herself. However, I've started to do a new thing where I take her off of Auto and just attempt to attack through the blindness. Especially since I'm only taking 6 heal potions into this tower. It helps me save my potions. Because I get the kills anyways, is the thing. The only time you'll get screwed over is if you miss multiple times on a 3 formation. So we'll see what happens here. Normally you would have autoed the blind away in the last fight. But she still hit her first attack. So as long as we get 1 attack on each fight, we still get through each of these with her blind. I don't know if it's technically slower. It can be slower because she can still critical hit and whatnot. But this is my way of doing it to kind of optimize the lack of menuing, really. So we'll keep going through this blindness. See, she still hits. I don't understand it. It's crazy. Benjamin is immune to blind, if I hadn't already mentioned that. So don't worry about him getting blinded. It's actually better if they try to blind him because it just won't do anything. All right. So now we're done with the Beholder hallway. So now we're going to heal the blindness because we're still using life spells. And those are not 100% accurate through blind. Switch to your sword. We're going to use Exit and a Life. Again, making sure to use life on the enemies because it will default back to your own party. And on this one, you can do a couple things. If nobody's blind, if nobody's hurt, you can auto and attack with the sword. If Kaylee is blind and Benjamin's going to be the only one to attack, then you're going to attack and either auto her blindness away or defend. Like that. Switch back to your sword. Heal that up. Because now we don't want her blind, because there aren't many Beholder fights left. Alright, this is what people refer to as the Hellway. These fights are not fun. They can ruin your run, they can ruin your entire day. They're just not fun. We're going to exit and life. And here's where we can get the audio kind of thing down that I do for knowing when to move my life spell to the enemy. And sometimes they're all faster than Kaylee. It doesn't make sense. And then you miss, and then it's just kind of, ugh. So kind of like that. I hear the 4 dings, and then I do 2, and then up and A. You'll get your own thing. It is generally smart to heal after almost every one of these fights, especially if you're even a little bit low health. These can easily kill Benjamin. I think they also can inflict the Petrify status. Ideally, you want her to go first, and then them not to kill Benjamin, obviously. That's a lot of misses. We'll try this last one without healing, see what happens. Even though it's not smart. Here, we got lucky. All right. We're through the Hellway. That was pretty good. We're right around the time where you're going to seed. Depending on how your battles have gone, you might want to seed at the end of that. All right, this fight kind of screwed up because I wanted to save before it. Can't run away. Awesome. Why can't I run away? Okay, so this can be a couple formations. We've got that, the 2 wizards and 1 Chimera thing, or whatever the hell he is. What is he called? Oh, Chimera. Or it can be 1-on-1. This obviously is going to be better. So for this, we're going to, you can actually queue your spells up on the same character, on the same enemy. So we're going to life, make sure you life the magician though. We're going to use exit and life, and he will automatically exit the Chimera. So there's that. If you do get the 3, you have to manually move yourself over to the Chimera, because life doesn't affect the Chimera, which means the second turn you want Kale to use life on the second magician. Kind of like that. Again, you're so underleveled that you kind of just have to heal. It really sucks, but heal as you need to, especially if you're new. Just keep healing. Make sure you're as close to full as you can if you're, you know, half or less exiting the battle. Through here, you can kind of minimally optimize by clawing and going over it, and then up and claw again across. This can be 2 different formations as well. It can be a Manticore, a Thanatos, and a Beholder, or just the Manticore and a Thanatos. It's not worth running away for, so just queue up your exit and life on the Manticore. And Benjamin will somehow automatically exit the Thanatos instead of the Beholder, which is nice. And again, if nobody's hurt, then you can auto with Kaylee and attack. But Benjamin is hurt, so we're actually going to do one of these. All right, this is the last instance of running away from an enemy to get a good formation. And this is one I just started doing. I'm still kind of testing it out. You can get either a 2 wizard or a 2 and a 1. So if I run from this, I can go back in. And again, theoretically it's 50-50, but it's hard to know exactly. It does save you time. It does save time if you run away and get it within 2 runs. So it's really up to you. You either fight the first one or you run away to get this. There's another identical formation up in a couple of fights, so I'll show you the other one when we get there. I'm going to seed here just so I don't forget. Again, this can be 2 magicians and 1 Chimera, or it can be this formation here. Not worth running for. Petrify is perfect on those fights because you're already going to kill it, and that means you just don't get any damage. All right, so here's this other one. So we're going to queue up our exit and our life on this guy. Okay, we missed. So we know that Kaylee is going to attack first, so we're going to switch over to Bomb. Have her life the Magician. And that way, it'll leave us to solo bomb the Beholder. Perfect. Switch back to our sword. Make sure we're not hurting. Just remember that we are on attack after that. So we're going to come over here, use exit, use life. Again, heal up. I believe this one has the same chance of being 2 or 2 in 1. It does. I do want to show you the other strategy for the 2 in 1. So, this is a little riskier, but it's also faster if you get it. So you can switch to Claw and try to use that Petrify against the Beholder and life the Magician. See, if you don't get the Petrify, and you do hit, it's just a... See, that's why you don't overmash. Right there. That happens to me far too often, just because I'm not paying attention. But, we attack the Beholder with the Claw. We life with that guy, with her. We Dragon Claw. We just get a hit. So, what do? We're blind. The life spells aren't 100% accurate. Well, we attack the Beholder with the Claw again, and we just switch over to Arrow. It's a little slower, but it's a lot faster than trying to remedy the blind or trying to get Benjamin to kill both. So, ideally in that, your first attack with the Claw petrifies the guy, the Beholder, and Kaylee gets the lives off on the Magicians. You save one attack that way, but it's riskier, and I actually don't even personally do that. So it's really up to you in that one. On this one, I believe it's just the same Chimera, or what is that called? Manticore. Again, this can be just a Manticore and a Thanatos, but it can also be this. That's not what I wanted to do at all. This can have the same exact risk if you want to try to do it this way where you attack. The only issue with that is both the Manticore and the Thanatos can actually ruin your day. Like, I think they can both... the Manticore can stone you, and the Thanatos can death dance you. But if we get that right there, which is exactly what we want, we can just arrow this guy. And then we save from having to wait for Benjamin to attack after another Kaylee attack. So, again, up to you. I don't even do it, so it's a toss-up. Make sure we're back on sword. We go through those steps. I hope you've been watching. I guess I haven't been talking out loud the exact movements, but it's been pretty self-explanatory. We'll come through here, exit, and make sure we go back to life. Again, if you want to be more safe throughout this whole thing, use Arrow with Kaylee. It's 100% accurate. It is slower, but it is accurate. All right, this fight can be 3 wizards or 2 and a Beholder, I believe. So we're going to do the same exact strategy we've been doing. Again, making sure to use life on the enemy once it resets on the second attack. We're going to heal up here. Don't need the siege yet. We're fine. So here's our main spell for the rest of the game. Flare, very powerful. Benjamin finally becomes useful. We're going to switch over to bomb. We actually throw these bombs. So you can shoot them from a step away. Doesn't really matter. Switch over to sword. Sword is enough magic to kill anything that's 2 in this dungeon with flare. So from exit, you just go up left. Sorry. Up left. Use flare, and if it's a 2, just defend with Kaylee. There's no way for Kaylee to kill 2 at once, so it's always faster to do it this way. And then this fight can either be the 3 magicians or a 2 in 1. If it is Beholder, you cannot use flare because they reflect magic, so you'd have to go the old way of using exit life. But since we have no Beholder, we will flare, and we will life. And since Benjamin's always slower, we can get it down to 2, and then he can kill 2 at once. And here's what we call in my stream the moment of truce. This is the point at which we find out if we have a floor 6. This is where you find a lot of swearing. So we come up here, we're gonna flip the switch with the axe. Regardless of it being a floor 6, we have to hit that switch. And then we cross our fingers, come up here, we don't see Pazuzu. You would see Pazuzu on this tile. So if you don't see him here, backtrack. This is when we get really upset and quit. So ignore these steps, come over this way. Again, we're ignoring chests that we don't need. There's still one underfold we have to do. We come through, we are on flare, and then to defend, because it's a 2. So now, basically what we have to do is go check all the other floors. This, and this, and this. Floor 5 is the second fastest. Floor 4 is the third. Floor 1 is the fourth. And floor 2 is quitting the game. But it can still be done. Again, at this point, if you don't get a floor 6, we kind of have to keep track of our wizard spells. So at that point would be out, and let's go ahead and seed up. He is not on floor 5. We would see him right there if he was. If you ever get a solo, don't use flare. Flare is very slow, so we'll go ahead and use life instead. Again, life works on everything except for the chimeras in this dungeon. We come down here to this little bridge, little wall thing you can walk on. Not exactly sure. Flare defend because it's a double. And then we'll flare life these. I'm just going to remind myself mostly, but we are also making sure we are keeping our heal potions in our inventory. With that new strategy where I don't heal the blind in that hallway, we actually end up with not using many. But if you have one, if you've ever noticed that you have one left, do not use another one. Always manually heal with Kaylee or Benjamin. So after that fight, we're going to hop over here, go up, ignore the right side. Again, we're going to fight this guy, use life. I believe that actually might only be a 1. There's no other options there. Come down these stairs. He's not on floor 4. Okay, we either have a 1 or a 2. Let's continue this way. Again, it's a double, so we'll flare and defend. This can also be a 3, in which case we'd flare life. Check our spells. We might as well seed since we're already in the menu. Normally you wouldn't check, you'd kind of just keep track, but I'm talking a little bit too much. All right, we'll come down here, fight this guy. Now, this is a special case. This is the one enemy that Flare will not kill, the Chimera. They are resistant to fire, oddly enough. So, we're going to still queue up Flare, but we're going to use Arrow on the Chimera. That way we'll still guarantee kill the other 2. Heal up, make sure we're good. We'll come up through here. Ignore the staircase for now. If he is on floor 5 or floor 4, I should probably show you. All right, so if he's on floor 4, we actually do have to come this way anyways. Never mind. I will show you. Again, we have the beholder here, so we cannot flare. So we'll exit life these guys. Or if you choose to use the claw on the beholder, you can do that. We know Kaylee's attacking first, so we will bomb attack in life. And sometimes they just explode. It's great. Come on this way. Go up here. talk to this guy. Again, we're gonna flare and life. Nope, arrow the Chimera. Switch to your axe. Knock that switch. That prevents him from moving certain floors. Because normally what you do, you talk to him and he's like, "Aha, you can't catch me." And he would run away to a different floor. If he is on floor 4, you go flip that switch. You talk to him by going, I'm pointing, but you can't see that. You bomb this door right here. Then you'd go up, fight the 2 formations of gargoyles, and you would just go talk to him. And then he would run away to floor 5, actually. And then you'd have to go back up to floor 5. Which is just back this way. So each floor has a different set of things you have to do. We already hit the switch on floor 6, which means he can't go above floor 5, and we hit the switch on floor 4, which means if we talk to him on 4 and he comes back up here, we have to get back to floor 5 to talk to him, to fight him. We have to go all the way back to floor 6. All the way back up to floor 7. I really should have save stated before I walked all this way. Yeah, this is exactly why not floor 6 is not viable for a high level run. So here's floor 5. We'd have to go this way to the right. I'll kind of just speed through these because they wouldn't be relevant in a run that I'd be doing. So 3 extra fights just for floor 5. So you'd come through all there, and then you'd finally talk to Bazooka and fight him there. That's what would happen if he was on floor 4 or floor 5. You still have to go hit the switch on 4, which is really upsetting, but it's what you have to do. So let's assume he's on, well, we don't know where he's on yet. We already know what we do if we got a floor 6, which is right here. We just go fight him. Very quick. An hour and a half is about where you're at if you're on a very good pace, like a high level pace, give or take. We'll just kind of backtrack to where we were when we stopped. So, we hit the switch. So that's the last thing we did. And he's not on floor 4. So instead of bombing this door, we come down to these stairs. We grapple over this way. Ignore these guys. Floor 2. We have to, fight this top formation. Looks like we can flare that and defend. Come up here. He's not on floor 2 either. That's fine, I guess. Flare and life. That means you get to see just about everything. Again, if you find a manipulation for this, please join the Mystic Quest Discord and tell everybody. You would be an immediate savior for everybody in this game. Or any other kind of skips or anything. I've done a stream or 2 exploring the game with me in the chat, trying to figure things out. It's pretty well explored, but I'm sure this game has got something left to be found. All right, our last switch. So if he is floor 2, we would then, what do we do? I haven't done it in so long. You have to go all the way back, I think. I think you have to go all the way, backtrack through the entire thing. Pretty sure. I haven't done anything but a floor 6 in so long, I cannot remember. Let's go see if we can figure it out. So we're backtracking, we're backtracking. Backtracking this way. All the way. The music is not good sped up. Floor 5. I could be wrong. There could be a slightly faster way to do this. Just don't quote me too much on that. That was floor 2. Wait, where? Okay, how do we get to floor 2? It's looking real bad. I missed something. What's over there? Who knows? All right. Is this the way to floor 2? Wait a minute. What just happened? Whatever. This is not the way to floor 2. Well, I apologize. It has literally been that long for me that I cannot remember. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, I guess we're gonna go this way. There's gotta be a way to get there through here. Again, we're blinded, so we just use a wizard attack. Okay, that's not it. Ah ha ha! So, all right. Now we know. So this right here, if you recall, back before we did all that super speed and losing our minds, there's 2 enemies on these 2 tiles right here. We fought the top one. We had to hit the switch no matter what. And we didn't even know if Pazuzu was here. So we hit that switch. And if he's on floor 2, we have to fight the bottom enemy. Come all the way through here. Go through that doorway you see to the left. And then go all the way around. It's so many extra fights. I'm not even going to do it. You have to go follow that whole path around. Fight that, I don't even know the name. Fight that Thanatos up there. I think he blocks the path. That's why floor 2 is the worst. Anyways, he's not on floor 2. He's not on floor 4. Not on floor 5. Not on floor 6. So we know he's on floor 1. You hit this last switch, and what you do is immediately exit. And you go back in. And since we come right back to floor 1, he's going to be right up here. We avoid this bird by going behind this pillar. Avoid those dudes and come right here. And we've got good old flare and defend. All right. We're not really hurt, but let's seed up. Make sure we're on claw. I believe you fight him automatically. Yep. You don't have to actually talk to him, but you still have to mash through the box. Right, so this is Pazuzu. He is awful. He has the most HP of any boss in the game besides the final boss. He's got 25,000 HP. And he has so many different attacks, so many different things that can screw you over. To start, make sure you're on claw. We're going to flare, and we're going to use arrow. Those are your 2 best spells on this fight. Now, every 5 turns, well, after 5 turns, oh, that sucks. Make sure you auto that away. So that's unfortunate. We missed 2 turns of flare. So after 5 turns, he's going to do a thing called Psych Shield. For that 1 turn, his speed drops to 0. And let's auto that heal right there. So his speed will drop to 0, which means both characters, no matter what, get to attack before him. But then he does a thing. Well, we'll show you. So this is his turn to use Psych Shield. So he's slow. Benjamin goes before him. And then he does a thing called Psych Shield. which means he now reflects magic attacks back at us, and then he still doesn't attack. So now we have to make it through 2 turns of not using magic. So if Kaylee's on auto, there's a chance she will use arrow on him and basically wipe your party. So if somebody's not hurt, take her off of auto. At this point, I use an opportunity to use a seed with Benjamin, and if nobody's hurt, attack. Alright, so this is the second turn. He will come out of Psych Shield now. However, in this fight, Kaylee is 90% of the time faster than him. So it's never worth it, in my opinion, to go for a spell with Kaylee. So if nobody's hurt, attack again. If somebody's hurt, just auto her. And if you can use Flare with Benjamin, he will always be slower than Pazuzu. So in this case, we could have used the spell with Kaylee, but we had to heal anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But it's also never worth the risk. So now nobody's hurt, so we can switch her off of auto. And I meant to use arrow, but we attacked. Mistakes happen. We're going to keep using Flare, keep switching her to auto when somebody gets hurt. After that first initial 5 turns, it then takes 3 turns total for him to go back to Psych Shield. Okay. So we can leave her on auto, and we can use a seed because we're hurt. So we'll seed. We're going to use Flare because we know that we're going to go after him because he's going out of Psych Shield this turn. And Kaylee is hurt, so we can leave her on auto because she'll heal herself. This might be bad. If he gets Kaylee first. Hey, look, it runs over. So this is just the kind of thing that can happen. Literally nothing I could have done about that. I played that almost as safely as you can play that. So at this point, there's no way you can beat this guy. So the smart thing is to just try to run away over and over. We're close to killing him, but another Flare wouldn't have killed him. All right, and then when you're on this, make sure you click no if you'd like to continue the run. Giving up means you go back to the title screen. Now, weird thing that you never have to deal with except for in this rare instance. So, the claw gives you a magic boost. However, if you die, the game doesn't realize you're holding the claw until you switch off of it and switch back. So if you just stay on claw, you will actually not get the magic boost until you unequip and re-equip. So make sure you do that if you die and are continuing. And we'll try to get better luck this time, I guess. Again, Flare Arrow. We are hurt, so we're going to Flare Auto. Oops. Oh my. That's not good. We missed another 2 turns of Flare. If you somehow get so lucky that Benjamin never dies during this first portion, you get 4 flares and then use an arrow. Don't use a seed until he uses Psych Shield, because it's just a bunch of extra damage. You can kill him very fast that way. But he's Psych Shielding now. So regardless, we're going to go ahead and use a seed. We still have spells left, but it's not worth like attacking him just to use a seed later, if that makes any sense. So we're going to... What do we do here? We can play it extra safe, and we can actually go for a double cure instead of trying to get an attack off, because it's, 700 damage. Who knows if that's going to make a difference, but healing might. So we'll do that. We'll get our Flare off. We'll Flare again with her on auto to heal. That's actually perfect. Anytime that you're on auto and he kills you, kills Benjamin, it's perfect. You basically get a free turn. We'll do that again. What? Nobody's hurt, so we'll switch her to arrow. Anytime that you can use arrow with Kaylee is great. Okay, we're on step 2 out of 3 for Pazuzu. Okay, so remember at the very near the beginning of the game, I said you could technically skip heal if you are feeling frisky. This is exactly why you do not skip heal. You could technically use a heal potion if you had some left, but otherwise try to use heal on Kaylee, and it'll save your run. I believe he was in Psych Shield, and she will heal, which means I can use Flare. Perfect. All right, we'll switch to arrow with Kaylee. If we had left her on auto, she would instead heal herself. Probably would have been fine, but now we get to do it next turn. I don't think we're close enough to kill here, and we're not even there. Yeah, we'll switch her to auto just to be safe. If we were closer to killing him, then we could just arrow with both and kill because he was on a psych shield turn, which means we'd both guarantee our turn. And at this point, seeding isn't necessary. You can still do it if you want to use flare instead of arrow because it does do more damage. So we'll do that. We'll keep her on auto, go back to flare. Wow, he attacked first on almost every attack. That's so weird. But that's good. So we heal him. No matter what, we're going to attack the rest of the way out if this doesn't kill. So we're going to do that. An arrow. This should kill. So it's not an easy fight. It definitely takes some practice. Again, watch your health carefully. Make sure that when he's in Psych Shield, you do not leave Kaylee on auto unless she has somebody to heal. If you leave her on auto and she uses arrow, you're basically just guaranteeing yourself a wipe. So, get another drink of water. Go through this little cutscene. We do not need to grab this chest because we're doing yet another item underflow. So, as soon as we hear that little tone of healing, come in here and exit. We're going to go down to Windia again. This is Windia number 3 if you're keeping track. So we're going to come up to the inn. We're going to talk to this lady here. Look at our inventory. This is what it should look like if you're doing the Venus Shield route. Seeds, Sky Coin, is that what it is? And heal potions. This is why it's important to keep track of your heal potions in the tower. Again, grab the 2 extra chests if you want to make sure you have enough. Because Kaylee will use them in battle if you leave her on auto and she's blind. We're going to come in here, buy 0. Do not use them yet. It is very important. If you use them now, you've screwed up everything. After that, you're going to come down here to Chocobo House. You're going to talk to Old Man Sunglasses. Ruben's going to come back. Remember him from earlier when we didn't have him in the party? Kaylee's going to peace out. It's the last time we'll see her this run. In our party, at least. We get Ruben, and now you're going to hold start. And now you're safe to use the cure potions. You have to have Ruben in your party at this point of the game. Notice how much extra stuff we just got? Nice. So you hear the music change. That means you did it right at the right time. Then you're going to talk to Old Man Sunglasses one more time. All right. There you go. So there is a backup. If you do happen to use all your heals and you absolutely need more, somehow go through 9 heals, this chest right here has extra heals. So it's not that much more time, but you have to do that before you go buy the 0 potions. The whole point being the position in which they're in your inventory. So it's good to know for a backup, but you should never have to use that if you're careful enough. Okay, so we do that. And from there, I would normally exit out of that house, but I was kind of doing other stuff. We go to this back right house. We go to the right out of here. The bomb house is left. The boat house is right. We go through here. Just straight up. I am so dumb. I forgot a step. My mistake. Okay, let's pretend like I didn't do that. So, we go through here. We're going to get Ruben, right? We talked to Old Man Sunglasses. We used 0 cure potions. The music changed. We talked to Old Man Sunglasses. And what we do is we exit. We go up to Rainbow Road. Go into this cave. Activate the cutscene by going up a step. Mashing through. Yet another party member destroys a cave. The boat will now travel to where we just were. And in this instance, if you're ever in a doorway, you can't just go down to go out. You actually have to move a step out because the loading zone's like in the door. And that just reminded me, don't R and L mash for overworld. It doesn't work. It actually prevents you from moving, as you can see here. Sometimes I screw it up, but usually you can remember with enough practice. So now we go through here and go to the back right house. Right for the boat. Straight up. And straight up again. And you're gonna click A to board the boat. What the oh my, I am so sorry. I'm forgetting everything. Let's back it up a little bit, eh? So, we talked to the Old Man Sunglasses. We used 0 cure potions. We got Ruben. We talked to Old Man Sunglasses again. We went out to Rainbow Road. We did the cutscene. What I forgot to tell you was we come back into Old Man Sunglasses' house and talk to Kaylee for the last time. She gives us a hat, which somehow tells the boat to come back to the dock. There we go. We are finally on the right track. My mistake. Again, write it down in your notes properly. Don't do what I just did. Now we press A to get on the boat. And we've got our friend Ruben for the first time. So this can have a couple different formations. We can have double Chimera, in which case we are going to... we can use sword for these. Arrow all and white. That is the name of the spell white, not a white spell. Thank goodness we have the Venus shield. We just got saved from paralysis. Not that we couldn't get around it, it's just awfully convenient. So that's how we kill that formation. There's also a 2 mage and 1 Chimera formation. If we can get it. Hello? There it is. All right, so if you get this formation, what you're gonna wanna do is use exit and life. But remember, it's actually smarter to use exit on the Chimera, so that way Ruben, who's always gonna be faster than you, can use life on the magicians. And again, life will reset its cursor. We can heal with our own cure, or we can use the life from Ruben. And this one's kind of a crapshoot. It can either be good or it can be bad. So this is good. We can actually do that fight. But just like in Bone Dungeon, where 3s are bad, in this case, this 3 is bad. It's a 50-50 to get a good formation, so just run away from that 3. And here we can just use Flare and defend. Come over here. You can actually just climb straight through the side of this and up it. To the right, up the rope. Left here, down here, and fight the left Thanatos. It is faster. Again, it can be the 3 bad formation, which is, again, run away. Unlucky. I mean, technically we had the 2s first, but whatever. And we're going to flare defend once more. Come out straight left of the wall, up all the way to the stairs. Again, we can LR mash to start ourselves walking. This should be another flare defend situation. At this point of the game, if you want to counter for your meteors and your flares, you can do that as well. If you're using the Tally, I'd strongly suggest using a Tally app on Android. I will try to find a link that I can put in the description. It's very helpful when you're starting out, keeping track of your thunders and your seeds. All right, so we've got 3 here, so we're going to flare and life. And that'll take care of these 3 gargoyles. Never mind. So if that happens, you have to learn how to adapt, right? So we use flare, it's not going to kill anybody. So what we're going to do instead is use white with Ruben, and that should take care of him for us. You could also just do white flare from the beginning, but The reason we kill one in the first place is to reduce the amount of enemies attacking. So go left here, grab this Gaia armor, talk to, I'm going to call him Sid. I don't know his name. Her dad, apparently. Why do they live so far away? You're going to get a little cutscene here with Ruben being drunk, I guess. And here, another one where you have to actually move to activate the cutscene. So make sure you're going down there. Mash through this. Do not make the mistake of using exit here. Go through the teleporter. Hold start and then use exit. Do not heal, because we will be healing right here. Come back into Windia. Windia number 4. Come up. You'll automatically get thrown into this cutscene, where you're going to lose Ruben, who's still drunk, and you're going to get everybody's favorite character back in your party for the last time. If you are playing this for the very first time, trying to get a save file for your resistance glitch, this is where you can first do it. So click the X button, I believe. Yep, X. And this is where you bring up your saves. So just make a save file there, and then you can actually soft reset the console and start an actual speedrun file. So, okay, after we get Phoebe, we come, just use the N. It's pretty quick. It basically just teleports you right to where you need to be. Talk to the guy on the left. You go through a little tiny, whatever you call that, some text boxes. When that's done, you're going to exit. Hold A to get back inside. And you're going to the back right house once more to get on the ship for the last time. We are almost done with the game. Congratulations if you've made it this far. Hopefully everything's been explained well enough and you're getting through and understanding. If not, again, please come visit me and ask for clarification, ask me questions, ask me anything. I love talking about this game. I hate the game, but I love talking about it. So, we get on the ship. We're going to click A on the steering wheel. The wheel, the ship steering wheel. It's going to take us over to our final destination, which is yet again Focus Tower. We're going to exit out of here. Don't walk out. You might want to mash those on the overworld because it's such a short distance you can't buffer very well. So mash up, mash A, whatever you got to do. So we're in Doom Castle. Home stretch, everybody. We've almost done it. This is the one other place with quicksand in the game. So, this first one can be 2 different formations. If it is 2 shadows, we are going to queue up a flare and use white with Phoebe. That will kill them automatically. If it's a 3, maybe. Maybe. Okay, now. As far as I know, nobody understands what makes formations what. So sometimes I just try to get different frames and whatnot. All right. So, if it's a 3, you want to still queue up a flare, but instead of using white, you're going to use thunder on a solo. This will take care of a 3. Oh, there's that example I was talking about where they can come back. So if that happens, just queue up another flare and then switch over to white. If you really want, I believe you can just white flare from the start and it'll kill them all, but we're trying to optimize at any point we can. Again, we just got exploded, so we're going to heal. You're going to come around. You're going to ignore this first staircase. All right. There are 2 options here. If you are just starting out, I strongly suggest you go get an optional piece of equipment. I think I have notes somewhere around here that tells you exactly how much longer it is. I can't remember. It's less than a minute, but it's like 58 seconds slower to go get the shield. What you're going to want to do, it's slower, but it's worth it as a new player. It'll definitely give you a lot of protections. So you're going to come straight down. Remember, holding the direction in which the quicksand is flowing. So hold down here. Hold down here. And you're going to blow this up. You're going to fight this guy here. Which I believe you can just kind of do a flare and a white. So again, if you are just starting out your first couple runs or you're just doing your couple first playthroughs, definitely get this Aegis Shield. It is very helpful, but if you're speedrunning, you do not want to waste the time. So we're going to come down here. A lot of people like to use the claw on that hook to the right. It's like 0.3 seconds faster, I think, but you can also miss. So up to you. I like to just hold straight down, down, down. And then when you come here, you're going to hold down, and then when you hit the very last tile of the wall below us, you're going to hold left. So down and then left, and we get to this point. You want to land on top of the chest. So this is the last instance in which we will use bombs. So I'm going to use the rest of my bombs just to show. It's good to have extras, but it's not necessary. We use some in Pazuzu's Tower, but if you end up with 0, don't be afraid. You can still come here, and the effect still works. Notice how the skeleton just kind of blew up by itself. So don't worry about 0 too much. Don't go out of your way to get more. We're going to use the claw. Go on over here. Now, there are 2 ways to do this fight. There's the Almagus strategy, which is very good, but it's less consistent than my strategy. So what you want to do is you want to, what is it? Yeah, have the sword out. You're going to exit on Skullus Rex. Yes, a main boss that you can just use exit on. And then Thunder, one of these ninjas. And then you just want to hold A again because you can exit Thunder as well. Or I guess he'll just explode. So that's how you do that fight. You would split right now. Or not right now. Right now. And that kills him. Here's my strategy. You have to have the claw on. Wait, do you have to have the claw on? No, you don't have to have the claw. Yeah, you do. All right, leave the claw on. Use Flare. And then use Life on Skullus with Phoebe. This will keep it, or take it down to a 1-turn fight. Especially if that guy does that. Because then Flare is way overkill. But he's got 10,000 health. It doesn't matter how much health he's got. One hit him either way. So either way you decide to do that, it's up to you. I like this way. It's a 1-turn. And let's continue. Oopsie. A little too fast. Again, exiting out of any point of this is devastating. So just be careful if you're going to use Benjamin's Cure. Follow this path. Take that first door. With that last item underflow, we got this coin. That was the coin you would have picked up in Pazuzu's Tower. We did not get it, and that's why. We'll come up here, and you want to keep claw on for the entire thing, except for when you're using sword to punch the statues. And we're going to keep... So this is kind of confusing. Kind of complicated a little bit. There's different strategies. You can just keep Phoebe on auto and use Flare the entire section of dungeon. But... And she will always use the appropriate thing, except for one fight. I like to do it this way, where I solo kill one thing in every fight with Phoebe. For the same reason we do that in every other part of the game, where it keeps one enemy from fighting until they do that. What the heck? Okay, it worked out. So, really up to you. Again, quickly switch the sword. Stay on sword, because the next thing we're going to do is go left. Do not forget this, or else you'll punch yourself later. Hit this statue, and then go in. Do not forget to go in. Switch to claw. Again, we can just auto. Or we can just manually white things. That's cool, too. Go back to sword. Hit the statue. That opens up our last door we have to go through. Come back this way. Now we're going to go to the right side. Hop to the top here. Go left. I forgot to keep the sword out. So once you hit this statue, you do want to switch to claw because you can turn right once and claw and hop over. Go all the way right. Follow the path up. Quickly go to sword. And back to claw. Again, we should be able to just, especially if you do get a strike first and you catch it, using white and flare is better because it kills all 3 at once. But either way, you're not losing much time. So that's fine. So this is the... I gotta run away from this. Oh, we got strike first. So this is the one formation, or one fight that can have one that she will not auto the correct thing. I believe it's this one. Maybe. I'm pretty sure. Hello? There's got to be something different here. I'm not making it up. There it is. So if you see this big fat Buddha guy here, what you actually want to do, oops, is you want to remember that you don't have any flares. Imagine I'm using flare, but you want to flare, and then you also want to blizzard this guy. White will not kill him, and auto, she will not do the right thing. And flare doesn't kill that guy. But that was flare, totally killed him. So that's what you do. That's the difference. If you see that guy, that's what you have to do. If you don't see him, then just do a regular flare white or flare with a solo kill. Usually you have enough wizard spells to make it through there, but I think I had an extra throughout one of the first fights. Come back through the same way you came with the claw equipped. Stop 2 tiles from the edge right here, like on the second tile. You can claw over. Keep following the straightforward path. Jump over that little hole. Ignore that statue. Come this way and hit this statue. Jump. You're always gonna want to go down this path. I still do it sometimes. You can jump over right here. First possible tile. Jump left, go this way. Jump again. We've got one more fight before the boss. This one might have a blizzard guy in it too, so if you see him, just be careful. We'll just flare white, because we got to strike first. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, we are on the second of our major final bosses, Stone Golem. He is yet another boss that has a couple different things we can do. We'll first do the Almagus strategy route, which I believe is just auto, and exit on Stone Golem. Yes, another boss that we can just exit. What is up with this game? So unfortunately, she's going to heal herself instead of doing any attacks. So we'd exit that, and then what we can do here is actually use white manually, and it will kill both. If she doesn't have to heal, I think she'll use fire on one of the dogs. But here is my strategy, which I happen to think is better. Of course, because it's mine. So you have to absolutely have the claw on. We're going to flare and defend. A lot of times with the other route, you do get petrified by the dogs on Benjamin, and that kind of ruins the whole thing. So we're going to flare defend. It may be slower, but it is far safer. And then we're going to switch to sword, and we're going to then exit and defend. So Phoebe takes a beating, but that's not our problem because... Oh, son of a gun. Okay, it's our problem when that happens. Wow. All right. Shut me right up. Let's try that again. That's actually the first time that's ever happened to me. So, use whatever strategy you like. Don't let this be an indication of what this one's supposed to be like. I use it because it's supposed to be safer, but I guess when you miss, it kind of throws all the rules out the windows. Thanks, Phoebe. All right. Just like that, we are almost to the Dark King. We'll do this. We'll heal up real quick. We'll go ahead and seed while we're in the menu. Switch to claw. It'll bring us right back out this way. Make sure you go down there, but do not jump over. Come back this way. There is a door through here that you can open with this, and trust me, I've tried every imaginable way to get through here faster. They're exactly the same speed to go back this way, so don't worry about it. Come back through where you started. Go up to this next floor. Oh boy. 2 more floors. Come to the right. We're going to keep the claw out for the whole time. And this is the part of the run. In this floor, I like to flare, and then if there's a dog, I will always solo fire with Phoebe. The dogs are the most dangerous enemies on in this dungeon. So that's unfortunate, but remember, we can always have a backup. So we can just white these things. but they do not die if you wipe the entire group. So that's why I solo fire and then flare. Here, we can easily just use white to clear 2. But anyways, yeah, they can do that and they can confuse you. It's really not fun. I forgot to do a save state here. So 2, you just white it. If it's 3, oh my goodness. All right, I promise you it can be 3. There it is. So if it's 3, you're gonna wanna queue up a flare and a defend. White will not kill all 3, and fire, like doing a solo doesn't make sense. It just kind of elongates the whole process. Because flare will kill all 3 at once. With any luck, Phoebe barely takes any damage like that. It's perfect. So now you know how to get through both of those. We'll come up here, and this is another Blizzard guy, I think. Yep, so we'll go ahead and, actually, I don't remember. Flare and then solo fire might kill those guys. We'll give it a shot right here, right now. Wait. I just, what? How did I go before her? That's so weird. Give it another shot. See, there's weird oddities like that. Like, the game is so consistent about how slow you are the entire game that all of a sudden you go before her, even when you're not using the sword. All right, that does not kill. So, even though there's a solo dog, you're still gonna want to flare and white. Only because these Buddha guys are here. Blizzard solo might work on those. Actually, I want to give that a shot too. Blizzard solo on one of these guys. That might give us enough flare damage since it's not split 3 ways. Wait, I already know it's not. I'm so dumb. Yeah, don't do that. Just do flare white like I said. Okay, okay. Remember, keep track of your wizard spells. You'll be using flare on almost every fight. Ignore those stairs up there. Come down this way. You can choose to fight this now or later, but you're going to fight it regardless, so just get it over with. We're going to flare and defend, because it's just a 3-stack of dogs. Holy cow. That's why dogs are scary. We got lucky. Again, we are under leveled. This is normal to having your. It is normal to have your characters be knocked out all the time. Whatever you do, do not claw across there. Resist that temptation. Just fight it and then keep walking past and claw this way. We will do a flare and a fire on the dog. The goal is to try to, since Phoebe's fast, she will sometimes go before the dog and prevent him from ruining your life. Sometimes. Alright, that was our last fight before the boss. I like to pause here. Heal up. Seat up. And, again, we have to talk to this enemy. Okay. Twin Head Wyvern. 15,000 HP. We cannot just use life. We cannot just use exit. We actually have to fight these people. So we're going to queue up a flare here and use white. And that will take, not only do damage to Twin Head, but it will take care of the outside enemies as long as we get our flare off. Just like in every other fight in this game, we can get screwed over by everything. So now, we're going to switch to auto, but flare is Twin Head is resistant to flare, so we're actually going to switch to arrow. Get lucky having her go before, or having Twin Head go before Phoebe. Take her off of auto every time you can. Have her use white. You're basically just going arrow white the rest of the way until it dies, and then autoing when you need to heal. This fight can go badly, just like every other one, but if you get lucky, it goes pretty quick. Again, we'll auto heal right now. We're not close enough that I would take a risk at this moment. Once it's just one more head facing straight at you, or like bowed down. So not yet. This one actually has like 4 different things. So right here, I'm looking pretty good health-wise. It'd be really implausible for Phoebe to die, so I'm actually just gonna run with this. That's perfect. We'll definitely kill this round. If I'm lower health, like if I could risk losing, I would not risk it. Especially if I'm like super far ahead. I definitely wouldn't want to risk losing a run to doing something risky, you know? Forgot to heal up. Again, it'd be so devastating to use exit here, so don't. Not that I've ever done it, but you know. So we're gonna use the claw to go across this area where we cleared that optional, quote-unquote optional Chimera fight earlier. Exit out. We'll go back up one more floor. Last floor before the Dark King. This is our Pazuzu floor. We all love him so much. We're gonna go up. You can fall off of these tiles, so be careful. Go right. Up, right, down. You can walk on the stairs through the door, so do that. Fight this little Chimera thingy thing. Dogs. So this whole floor you can kind of just flare white like we did the whole other floor. Again, if there's a solo dog, I'll try to take it out. Please don't kill me. That's how this game goes sometimes. Just make sure you click no. When people call this RNG the game, they mean it. Literally nothing I could do except for maybe defend, but that would be stupid. It'd be so slow. We go through just like that. All right, we're going right and up, and then all the way left. Now remember, these Chimeras are actually resistant to fire. So somehow Meteor doesn't count as fire. So every time you see a Chimera, we're gonna Meteor white. I don't really like the Meteor and Flare spells because their animation is so long, but there's no other better way to get through this. There's technically another way, the Calm Calamity way. I'm not too familiar with it, and I haven't done any testing of it myself. It's the way he does it, and he vouches for it, but you'd have to ask him if he's around the Discord or something like that. So no Chimera here. We're going to go ahead and Flare White. We could Flare and solo fire the dog. It's up to you on these ones. The Thanatos will die to Flare. Remember keeping an eye on your wizard spells. We have 2 left. We can defend here. Flare defend on 3 dogs. All right, we're good. Go up through this little window tunnel all the way right. We'll use Meteor here. Meteor and white. If you use solo fire on the dog, Meteor will not kill the 2 Chimeras by themselves, just so you're aware. All right, we are out of our wizard spells, so we're gonna go ahead and seat up. We'll go ahead and flare and solo fire here. I hope that doesn't work. Thank you. Again, speed is merely a concept in this game. Just like that. That only works on the Thanatos in this room, I believe. We'll do another Meteor and what? Oh, that's a Thunder. Just got a bunch of inputs on my left there. All right, well, you know what? You got to deal with mistakes sometimes. Oh, boy. Petrify. Stuff in this floor can also paralyze you, which is one of the other reasons I like to grab the Venus Shield, do the Venus Shield route. Up to this point, there are no differences in the routes, by the way. Woo! All right. That was a little iffy. But we're okay. Do not fight this Thanatos. Get down to this door and go right and go up here. Again, don't fight this guy. Remember, you can walk sideways on stairs. So just do that. Still being careful not to walk off any edges. Music's so good. Okay, we're gonna meteor and wait. That is why we get the Venus Shield. There are so many different fights that can just, if they go the wrong way, they can really screw you over. All right, so we're gonna come down here. Fight this last Thanatos, which will be a flare and fire. Flare and fire. Again, you get fast at actual menuing once you've run this game over and over and over. I'm going relatively slow, just, you know, obviously because it's a tutorial. Your inputs are pretty crispy on this menuing. Like, you can menu pretty fast in battles, and you can buffer, like, pretty frame perfect. So, you know, practice, get yourself up to speed. Here is the last main boss, Zoo. Does he look familiar? Yeah, he sucks. He's got 20,000 HP, and he has the same exact attack pattern, except he does it in 4 turns. So his first initial Psych Shield would be 4 turns, and then it's every 2 like it was before. So what we want to do, start off with a Flare in white, just like we did with Twin Head. I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong line, and I knew better than that. We're going to start off with a single arrow and a Thunder on the Thanatos. Again, paralysis resistance is very nice. And now we'll start autoing when we need to, and we will flare and white when we can. This is turn 2. So we'll keep her off auto since we're pretty healed up. Make sure we're on white. That is the perfect attack. It doesn't do anything. That was turn 3. So he will drop his speed to 0 on this turn. Sorry, next turn. I know what I'm talking about. This is turn 4. And then he does it. We're getting awfully lucky. I probably should have healed there, but I'm feeling risky. So he dropped the speed to 0. Now he will resist the magic. Oh my goodness, we're getting so lucky. We'll go ahead and seed and auto. Perfect. So we'll still get the seed. Make sure you don't mash too much because of the item usage. Now, Zoo, unlike Pazuzu, Zoo is almost always faster than Phoebe. So we will queue up. Oh my god. Literally everything happened the exact opposite way that I described earlier. That's so upsetting. You rarely get screwed by that. So if you want to play it safe, then go ahead and physical attack or just, you know, do a seed or something. But I usually don't have a problem with that. We might be close enough to kill. We'll find out. Let's go. Good recovery. That was the luckiest fight I've ever seen. So many Psych Shields. All right, we killed Zoo. Resist your temptations to heal. I almost just did it there. You do not need to heal. We're almost done with the game. We're gonna go back the way we came. Make sure Claw's out, which it should have been anyways for that magic boost against Zoo. Again, skip this guy. Once we get to this little path, just hold straight down. We're going to fall off the edge. And then as soon as you fall, claw over. This place looks familiar. And we're going to go outside. And to the very top floor. This is the Zoo floor here. And go walk straight up. Little cutscene here where we get full healed. You're on the home stretch. You're almost guaranteed to finish the game in the next couple minutes without insanely bad luck. Stop mashing when she starts to enter your party. You don't need any items. We're set. Very important. Very, very important. Number one most important thing about this fight. You have to be on the axe or the bombs. Just do not be on claw. Do not be on sword. It can royally screw things up. Mash through these little text boxes. And we're going to use a little cure glitch. So, we're going to menu to cure. Benjamin is going to cure the Dark King. And Phoebe is going to defend Benjamin. See how much damage that did? Holy crap. He has 40,000 HP. We just did like 230,000 damage. So we're going to use Cure on him again, because now his HP is underflowed. We need to bring him back up to a positive value, or else like the game just kind of freaks out. So we're going to use Phoebe's Cure as well as Benjamin's Cure. She is actually going to heal him to a positive health. How amusing. He goes through a little transformation here. He can go through 2 transformations. Sometimes it doesn't. What the? What? What? Did I see that correctly? Did Phoebe just go twice in that turn? I'm gonna have to watch that back. Holy, what? I honestly can't explain what just happened. We're just gonna redo it and pretend like it never happened. So, Cure Defend. Did she really just attack twice in one turn? That would be huge if I could figure out how I did that. Cure and Cure. Okay, that was more like it. That was so weird. Okay, and then we're gonna Cure with Benjamin and Defend. And it's very important. So it's Cure Defend, Cure Cure, Cure Defend. And time stops when the numbers from Cure pop up. So this will be the kill shot. As long as it doesn't miss. So make sure it's actual numbers, because if it misses there, then you're not done. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. You have finished the game, hopefully in under 2 hours. Not really. If you are just starting out, do not feel bad. I think my first run was 3 hours plus. So tutorial, 3 hours, 40 minutes. I hope that I explained things well. This was kind of live and a spur of the moment thing. There's not any tutorial out there. There's the Elmagus script, which is really, really good, and I definitely have that up if you're planning to do the original route. It's very useful. That's how I learned how to play this game. And then me just wanting to get faster, and then working with Calm Land, we found a lot of different things that we could do to optimize our times. I'm still hoping to get world records soon. Again, come check me out, Twitch TV, just 10. There'll be a link in the description. Again, I'll have timestamps for all the major spots, the differences in the routes, if you're not familiar with Venus Shield, because it's pretty new. Other than that, I think I've covered everything I want to cover. If you have any questions, come ask. I hope everybody has a great day.